Good morning po. Tanan.
Morning.
Good morning po.
Good morning, Kuya Randy.
Ganda ni Ate Ma'am. Morning, Ate Ma'am.
Morning, wala akong eyeglass. Hindi ko malapan. Morning, everyone.
Good
Morning, Sir Sam.
Sir Sam.
Maaga nakatulog si Sir Sam kagabi.
Kumusta kamu tanan? Marami ba tayo ate ngayon?
Follow up lahat, even sa Korea, na mga
Wow,
blessed
amazing.
couples. Hopefully,
Sino bang pinaka-early na pumasok ha?
meron gift.
Oo nga, kita ko. Alam
Sinong
mo,
una?
ikaw ma'am, syempre. Tapos ang sunod ay R9. Tapos si Sir Sam.
Sa akin pala yung gift na yun. Parin, babalik sa akin ang most punctual.
Give way to the...
Hindi ko pa Kuya Alan.
Sayang, dapat ako yun.
Ikaw naman yata yun.
Naku po, wala po si Kuya Randy sa akin, no? Saka.
Sino nauna sa atin? Meron ka ng True Mother's book?
Oh, meron gusto, bigyan mo ako?
Yun nga ang gift ko sa sa most punctual.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yun ang kailangan natin.
Ang galing.
Sir Sam. Good morning, Sir Sam. Na-busy siya nagsiset up.
Oo nga. Saan si ate, si ate, yung wife niya ba hindi ba silang dalawa?
Ginigising ko pa si Alan Humawan.
Bakit nasa Leonela?
Si?
Andiyan si Nela eh.
Opo. Gi-add ko siya sa Gi-add ko siya sa GC namin. And it's good. Kasi sa Thailand man siya.
Oo.
And then she wants to also to be updated. So sa GC namin, sa Sibugay.
Wow.
Then napo-connect siya doon. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Nako sir, meron kang regalo.
Junila.
Bakit ba?
Mrs. Tatiana, good morning.
Good morning, ate.
Kita ka para makita ka namin.
Good morning, Neil.
Hindi pa ako natutulog. Okay lang, sige.
Pero mas maganda sa morning kasi very refreshing.
Wow,
Good
ganda.
morning, te.
Beautiful.
Hindi pa ako natutulog.
Ano?
Hindi pa ako natutulog.
Bakit man?
Meron lang akong inasikaso, ate. Meron nagwi-witness sa akin kanina.
Very Sige. Anyway, kaya pa naman siguro.
Okay, pati.
Maganda kasi this is a great opportunity na very early morning you can receive God's words again.
Nakonfit lang kasi ko. Sabi ko, bakit ang aga? 4 a.m.
Kasi ang net namin sa different areas, ang internet. And then, inayos na rin kami ni na Ate Sylvia na with Tita Teresia. Ang ganda kasi ng feeling sa morning.
Ito talaga, te.
Hello, Sylvia. Good morning.
Hi, Ate Neil. Ito talaga, te. But it's good that you are,
Mag-off lang po, ate, na makinig lang ako.
Oo. You are most
Okay.
welcome.
Okay, thank you.
Baka pag maganda itong time na ganito, baka once a month na ito.
Oo, ganito. Ganyan. Pwede na
Wow,
yan
this
once a month.
once a month, magandang education for
Oo.
blessed families.
Ate,
Sige, para
na-
next time, marami-rami.
ate, na ano na you're a good, ano talaga, influencer. I love you.
Si Sir Saben, inspire sa ako sa kanya. Siya ang nagsabi na 4 o'clock. Kaya sabi ko, go,
Galing naman.
go. Pero ang mahirap
revelation
after ng closing prayer namin kagabi, ginagnan ko yung text ko sa kanya ng 3 o'clock. Hindi pa niya nakikita. Sabi ko, nag-worry ako, Sir Sam. Kaya ko tumawag sa mga anak mo. Gisingin, Cholkid, gisingin si Sir Sam, sabihan.
Yun na nga eh. Mabuti na lang.
Pinagising kita.
Tapos, ano ba, na-inform ba sila? Hill? Saka si,
Opo.
saka si Juan.
Birthday, si Sir
Tio.
Elisar. Gising na si
Si
Sir
Sir.
Elisar. Sandali ha.
Ah.
Sir Elisar, gising na yon. I-encourage ko rin siya na i-add na yung mga blessed couples na sa sa GC para ma-update sila. Okay. Si Ate Elsa, nag-report man ako kay Ate Elsa muna bago nag-disseminate ng informations. Baka hindi pa siya nagising. Si Marilo ang nakagising na, pero wala man.
Andyan si Marilo.
Morning, Kuya Randy. Wala pa rin pumasok.
Hello po, ate.
Follow up muna natin sila. Sir Sam, na kay Sir Sam. Naa kay number ni Sir Elisar.
Ate, mag-play muna ako ng video while waiting.
Sige, thank you.
Naka-mute pala ako.
통일교 창시자인 문선명 총재가 오늘 새벽
A year ago
92살의
today,
일기로 결세했습니다.
Reverend Sun Myung Moon, founder of the Unification Church, passed away at the age of 92. His death was big news around the world. Leaders from many nations and members of the Unification Church and other faiths all came to Korea to pay their respects. A year later, we take another look at the life of Reverend Moon, his lifelong efforts for peace, and his special concern for the reunification of our homeland of Korea. Here at this convention center in Pyongyang, North Korea, which was built in 2007 with investment from Reverend Moon, a memorial altar was set up after his death for offerings of incense and flowers to his memory. The North Korean Director of Defense, Son Taek-jang, and Labour Party Director Yang Kyung-kim were among those who came to offer their respects on behalf of North Korea's chairman, Kim Jong-un. They also posthumously awarded Reverend Moon, who was represented by his youngest son, with the National Reunification Prize, which has also been awarded to Kim Gu, Woon Hyang-yo, and other prominent Koreans. Reverend and Mrs. Moon, who were both born in what is today's North Korea, returned to the country in 1991 to establish a connection of friendship. On December the 6th that year, they arrived in Pyongyang for private talks with President Kim Il-sung.
우리의 문제는 항상 남북 문제다. 소련 종주국이, 공산주의 종주국이 망하게 되면 그 다음에는 결과적으로 남북 전쟁이 갑자기 일어날 가능성이 있어. 이걸 예방하기 위해서는 내가 김일성이를 만나고 좀 친한하게 좋겠어.
On arrival in North Korea, he met with top leaders of the North at the Mansudae Congress Hall. Rather than being diplomatic, he gave a bold and controversial speech.
하늘과 땅의 상대적인
주체 사상은 틀린 사상이다. 미흡한 사상이다. 아주 그냥 노골적으로 말씀하시면서 윤기복 위원장 내가 많이 틀렸어? 막 이러시면서 아이 소학교 아이들 다루듯이 윤기복 위원장 얘 대답 좀 해봐. 그래 주체성 가지고 남북 통일할 수 있겠어? 세계 통일할 수 있겠어? 안 돼. 어딘도 없어.
Despite Reverend Moon's blunt criticism of his Juche ideology, Kim Il-sung welcomed him warmly. At that time, international pressure on North Korea surrounding the nuclear inspection issue was mounting. With matters in Korea in such a state, there was nothing easy or safe about visiting Kim Il-sung at this time. Why did North Korea welcome the visit of Reverend Moon, an outspoken critic of communism?
세계적 영향력을 갖는 그런 이제 종교 지도자라는 점을 아마 북한은 상당히 고려했던 것 같습니다. 그런 영향력을 활용해서 남북 화해 협력의 어떤 그 중재자 역할과 함께 또 북한의 어떤 그 체제 보장이라든가 체제 위기를 해소할 수 있는 어떤 도움을 받겠다 하는 그런 의도로 성향이 완전히 다름에도 불구하고 초청을 했다는 것이죠.
The points agreed upon by Reverend Moon and President Kim included reunions for divided Korean families, international nuclear inspections, cultural exchange, and the development of the Diamond Mountain tourist area. By the time of the North Korean visit, Reverend Moon had been working for a peaceful end to the Cold War hostilities for several decades. After the October Revolution in 1917, Lenin moved quickly to set up an international communist organization. In the late 1920s, the activity of the Chinese Communist Party began to expand to Japan and elsewhere in Asia. Soviet influence also spread, and efforts aimed at the communization of other nations gained momentum. From 1945, the world entered the Cold War era, and Korea suffered the pain of being a divided country. In the 1960s, Reverend Moon started his victory over communism activities in earnest. His first focus was on Japan. He made a determination to transform Chochong-young, a Korean organization that was sympathetic to the North.
조총련은 무조건 이제 북을 자기들의 모국이라고 딱 결정해버리고 그 하나의 운명같이 받아들이죠, 그러죠? 그 거대한 조직이 뭐 숫자가 한두 명도 아니고 29만 명까지 회원이 있었으니까. 그러니까 이 사람들은 이제 한국에 대해서는 적대 감정, 북이 우리를 대하는 감정과 똑같은 감정, 한숨 더 나가가지고 오히려 그냥 이 반동분자들만 사는 집단이다, 대한민국은.
The Victory Over Communism campaign began at Chosun University, which was founded and funded by North Korea. Of course, the communists had strong control over all the students, and the work was very difficult. Reverend Moon headed to Japan to lead the campaign in person, and after gathering a base of support, he began to encourage Chochong-young leaders to visit their homeland.
전 일본의 승공 조직을 우선 하고, 그래서 양반이 막 온몸으로 그냥 피땀 흘리면서 129군데 강연을 이미 했어요, 일본에서. 막 동서로, 남북으로. 그리고 나서 이제 조총련을 일본 사람들을 앞세워서 포섭에다가 미국에 가서 연수한다. 그래 모집해서 가서 거기서 이제 강의 내용은 왜 민주주의가 뭐란가.
Reverend Moon's first delegation of North Koreans living in Japan visited Korea in 1974. For most, it was their first visit to their homeland. The success of these campaigns led to the development of a strong base of support in Japan, which helped launch the Victory Over Communism campaign in Korea itself. In 1975, Reverend Moon held a Save the Nation rally on Yoido Island in Seoul. At the time, communization in Indochina was spreading rapidly. The rally recognized the imminent threat to Korea and determined to fight against it. People from many nations came to Korea to spread the news about the rally. It was an unparalleled event for the time. Finally, on the day of the rally, there were more than 1,000 participants from 60 different countries, as well as an estimated 1.2 million people from all over Korea.
공산주의를 쓰러뜨리는 이 싸움은 곧 하나님의 싸움이 되는 것입니다.
After the success of these victory over communism activities in Asia, Reverend Moon turned his attention to the United States. Following the US defeat in Vietnam, illegal drug use and sexual immorality were causing further turmoil among America's youth. Reverend Moon was very concerned about this problem.
누가 미국을 바로잡겠습니까? 누가 이 워싱턴을 참 방향을 바로 잡아서 참 세계를 바로 이끌고 갈 수 있겠느냐 하는 것이 중요한 그 과제였을 때에 문 선생님께서는 나 아니면 할 수 없겠다.
On arrival in the United States, this unknown minister from Asia conducted high-profile activities across the country. Americans began to listen to his message that it was time for the United States to wake up. As support for his work grew across the United States, the press and media began to take notice.
But if you were under the most enormous affection.
In September 1976, in Washington, D.C., hundreds of thousands of people attended a rally in front of the Washington Monument.
무엇보다도 무신론에 입각한 공산주의의 위협은 가장 심각하며 이 시간에도 도처에서 침식에 들어오고 있습니다. 이것은 단지 미국만의 문제가 아니고 하나님에게 있어 그리고 모든 종교인과 온 자유세계인들에게 있어 심각하고도 절박한 문제입니다. 하나님께서 200년간 준비하신 미국은 크게 각성하고 하나님께서 분부하신 중차대한 세계적 사명을 다하여야 할 것입니다.
Huge crowds gathered everywhere, and the rallies had a big impact on American society. The 1976 year-end edition of Newsweek featured Reverend Moon on the cover. He met leading American political figures, spoke on Capitol Hill, and shared his vision for America. He realized that to make a lasting impact, he would need to work with the media. A major initiative was the establishment of the Washington Times, first published in 1982. The Times stood in contrast to the left-leaning journalism of the rival Washington Post, and became a central part of Reverend Moon's long battle against communism and left-wing ideologies. Reverend Moon believed that victory for Ronald Reagan, a conservative, was important in order to defeat communism.
It wasn't always the popular thing to do, but you were a loud and powerful voice. Like me, you arrived in Washington at the beginning of the most momentous decade of the century. Together we rolled up our sleeves and got to work. And, oh yes, we won the Cold War.
In difficult times, even more than in easy ones, the voice of conservatism must make itself heard in the media. It isn't always easy. It wasn't easy when the paper's founder, Dr. Moon, first began the Washington Times.
And I'd be remiss if I did not thank the founder of the Washington Times, Reverend Moon, for his vision in launching this newspaper and others like it. Without him, there would be no Washington Times, and I think it's appropriate that we pay our respects to him.
In 1989, the Berlin Wall came down. With the collapse of communism, Reverend Moon turned his mind to the challenge of reconciliation. He visited the Soviet Union in April 1990. At the time, the Soviet Union did not have diplomatic relationships with South Korea. Reverend Moon held talks with Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev, where he offered his firm support for Gorbachev's reform policies of perestroika and glasnost. He made several proposals of his own, including the establishment of diplomatic ties with South Korea, economic cooperation, and Russian support for Korean reunification. One bold proposal, which was accepted, was an invitation to sponsor 3,000 university students to visit America on an exchange program. Reverend Moon wanted to introduce these students to new values. A few months before the end of the Soviet Union, an attempted coup d'etat threatened to undo Gorbachev's reforms. But Russian citizens' opposition stopped the coup in just 3 days. At the forefront were some of the 3,000 students who had been to the United States. Gorbachev himself was released from house arrest. At last, the Cold War came to an end. A few years later, the Gorbachevs visited Korea and paid a courtesy visit to Reverend and Mrs. Moon at their residence in Seoul. Meeting again after earth-shaking changes, they shared their common vision for peace. In 1994, tensions between North and South Korea were once again running high. There were strong suspicions that the North was developing nuclear weapons. It withdrew from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, triggering the first Korean nuclear crisis.
북한을 향해서 미국은 폭격하겠다고 그랬어요. 또 북한 대표자가 판문점에 나와서 서울 불바다론을 제기하고 그런 전쟁 일보 직전이었거든요.
Even though the International Atomic Energy Authority conducted nuclear inspections, they said they needed fuller access to the North. But Pyongyang was strongly opposed. North Korean delegate Young-Soo Park, visiting Seoul in advance of a planned summit, warned that Seoul could become an inferno.
여기서 서울이 멀지 않습니다. 전쟁이 일어나면은 불바다가 되고 말아요.
아니 지금
성 선생도 아마 살아나기 어려울 거예요.
아니
다만
그걸 말이라고 합니까?
그렇기 때문에
아니
이에 대해서
그럼 우리가 가만히 있을 것 같아요?
글쎄 이렇게 여기에 대해서
아니 좀 얘기하세요.
심사숙고를 해야 된다.
전쟁 선언하는 겁니까?
In a situation which could easily have led to war, Reverend Moon increased his Track 2 citizen diplomacy efforts. One such initiative was the North-South Students' Peace Seminar. Meeting in Beijing, China, the students opened a gate for reconciliation between North and South at a time when the two governments were barely speaking to each other. Because it was such a sensitive time, the conference attracted international attention. The students set aside their differences and discussed peaceful roads to unification. They traveled around China together, playing in sports competitions, forging friendships, singing traditional songs, and other cultural programs. After these experiences, the students from North and South became very close. They delivered a statement to their respective countries, saying that it was not necessary to go to war, and what they all wanted was peace and unification. They applied all their youthful energy to dispel the clouds of war. On several other occasions, when the political situation on the Korean peninsula again became strained, the students' peace seminars offered a way to reduce some of the pressure. After the threat of war had passed, the North and South once again began to work towards the summit meeting. But then Kim Il-sung died, and relations again foundered. The shock enveloped North Korea.
위대한 수령 김일성 동지께서 1994년 7월 8일 2시에
The funeral procession for Kim Il-sung clearly showed the impact of his death. The people were plunged into very public grief, and Pyongyang was at a standstill. The situation was front-page news in the South as well. No one knew what kind of changes lay ahead. Delegations from many other countries traveled to North Korea to offer their condolences, normal protocol following the death of a head of state. But the South Korean government decided not to send a delegation, which the North took as an insult. But Reverend Moon did send a delegation. He asked Bo-hee Park, then president of the Segye Times newspaper, to attend the funeral on his behalf. With government permission, Dr. Park made his personal, unofficial trip to Pyongyang. He met with Kim Il-sung's son, Kim Jong-il, to offer Reverend Moon's condolences. However, Dr. Park's visit was strongly criticized by the South Korean press. Intimidated by this reaction, the government reversed its original position. The visit was recategorized as being unpatriotic, and it was announced that Dr. Park would be punished in accordance with national security laws. After that, he could not enter Korea for 4 years.
정부도 북한에 가신 걸 알고 우리가 허락했다 소리를 못하겠습니다. 혼자 결심해서 자의로 갔다 온 걸로 해주실 수 있으시겠습니까? 어느 기자에게나 어느 누구에게도 한이 없습니다. 이 비밀이 오늘 여기서 터집니다.
Despite the repeated lack of official cooperation, Reverend Moon continued his outreach to the north and moved forward to establish cultural ties. The Little Angels, a children's troupe which had been performing around the world since its founding by Reverend Moon in 1963, made a special 10-day tour to North Korea in May 1998. They were the first cultural visitors from the south to visit the north since the division of the country. People thronged to the theater to see these young ambassadors for peace. The emotional welcome for the Little Angels from the south was truly historic, and this was the work of Sun Myung-moon.
하루속히 우리 조국이 통일이 되어 여러분과 더 자주 만날 수 있는 날이 오기를 바랍니다.
우리나라 전통 무용인데 뭐 화관무, 처녀총각, 뭐 꼭두각시, 부채춤, 뭐 북춤 이런 식으로.
It was more than just a dance performance. It was the opening of a new road to unification.
북한과 남한과 그 문화를 교류할 수 있었다는 것에 굉장히 기여가 컸던 것 같아요.
Then, in the summer of 2000, Reverend Moon invited a student dance troupe from Pyongyang to visit Seoul. Again, they were the first civilian group from the north to visit the south since the division of Korea. History was being made again in a hopeful spirit of reconciliation and dialogue.
역사적으로 이루어지는 남과 북, 북과 남의 정상회담을 목전에 두고 있는 이때 평양 학생 소년예술단이 경축 공연을 갖게 된 건 역시 민간급 문화예술 교류를 활성화시키는 커다란 계기가 될 것입니다.
The goal of initiating cultural exchange, agreed to 10 years earlier by Reverend Moon and Kim Il-sung, was at last accomplished. It was a major milestone in the limited history of North-South cultural relations. After the successful performance, people were visibly moved. Many started to believe that it might be possible to achieve unity between the North and South after so long a separation.
일반 주민들의 인식을 바꾸는데 상당히 기여했을 겁니다. 이 같은 이제 동포애를 느끼고 민족 동질성을 느끼고 그러면 이제 정치적으로도 같이 화해해 나가야 된다는.
오늘 남과 북은 이렇게 민족을 향해 또 전 세계를 향해 남북한의 정상이 평양에서 만나기로 했다고 알렸습니다.
It was the first summit between the North and South in the 55 years since the division of Korea in 1945.
전달될 수 있지 않느냐, 그 길이 빨라지지 않겠느냐, 이렇게 많이 생각을 한다고 서로 많이 하겠습니다.
The summit resulted in the signing of a joint declaration between North and South, which included reunions for families divided by the partition of Korea, civilian exchanges, economic cooperation, and the opening of the Diamond Mountain resort area. Efforts were also made to bring about normalization of North Korean relations with the United States and Japan. The first face-to-face talks between the heads of the two countries since the division of the Korean Peninsula was a historic occasion. After the summit, official economic ventures began. However, Reverend Moon had launched such economic cooperation years before. One important initiative was the establishment of Pyeonghwa Peace Motors. The creation of an automobile factory provided opportunities for technological development and the chance to strengthen North Korea's weak economy. Kim Jong-il and other top North Korean leaders eagerly welcomed the opening of the factory in 1998.
민간 차원에서의 통일 논의라는 것이 필요하고 통일 문제를 같이 협의하는 것도 필요한 시점이 됐구나. 이런 것들을 이제 깔아놓는 그런 계기가 됐다고 볼 수 있을 것 같습니다.
Among the many areas that Reverend Moon has worked on in his lifetime, working for the harmony of religions, youth education, women's rights, and ending poverty are among the most important. As a religious leader, Reverend Moon was very aware of the problem of religious disunity. Conflicts with religious roots are still taking place in many parts of the world. Reverend Moon's interfaith programs have helped religions to work for peace as one family under God. On September 11th, 2001, the World Trade Center in New York was destroyed by Islamic suicide terrorists. Reverend Moon has emphasized that interreligious cooperation was essential to solve this issue. He gathered the faithful from every religion to lead the way to break down barriers of mistrust and misunderstanding.
미국에서 닦아진 그런 모든 세계적 기반을 중동 쪽으로 포커스를 하시면서 비정치적, 비군사적 입장에서 민간 차원의 강력한 NGO 운동으로 중동의 분위기를 바꿔나가야 된다.
At the height of the Second Intifada between September 2003 and May 2004, religious leaders from every tradition gathered to try to end the violence.
전 세계에서 약 한 3,000명 정도의 평화를 사랑하는 사람들을 초종교적으로, 초국가적으로 예루살렘에 가서 평화 운동을 하도록 하라. 정상들만 해도 한 60명 정도가 참여할 정도였으니까 이스라엘 팔레스타인 역사의 가장 큰 규모의 외국 사절단이 한꺼번에 들어온 거죠.
Out of the whole governmental activities, the UPF are making the most important activity for the peace in the Middle East.
Reverend Moon had long viewed the conflict between religions as one of humanity's most serious problems. In 1985, he started the Assemblies of the World's Religions and developed this initiative throughout the world. He believed religious leaders should meet in person to overcome their differences and agree on a path that all religions could follow together. In Geneva in 1985, the Professors' World Peace Academy was the first academic body in the world to predict the imminent fall of the Soviet Empire, a bold claim that attracted the attention of scholars the world over.
국경에 갇혀 있지 않고 국제적인 차원에서 자기 전공을 뛰어넘어서 학제적으로 학문의 영역을 뛰어넘어 다른 학문의 영역에 있는 사람들까지 손을 잡고 공통 목표인 세계 인류의 평화를 논할 수 있는 그런 자리를 만들어 줘야 되겠다. 이런 생각을 하신 거죠.
Reverend Moon wanted to provide an open, interdisciplinary forum and said that scholars had a duty to help solve real-world problems and promote world peace through joint research and cooperation. A number of Nobel laureates have joined these academic conferences hosted around the world. Reverend and Mrs. Moon have supported various projects for relief and development. In 1975, they established the International Relief Friendship Foundation to provide food, medical supplies, and other necessities to poor countries in Africa, South America, and elsewhere. The foundation continues to support mobile medical teams, technical education, water purification, and other projects, and runs several schools in Africa. Encouraged by the range of these activities, President Goodluck Jonathan invited Reverend and Mrs. Moon as state guests to Nigeria in 2011. Reverend and Mrs. Moon have long been involved in women's empowerment as well. In 1992, they founded the Women's Federation for World Peace as a way to give women a greater voice in peacemaking. Women participated in Bridge of Peace reconciliation ceremonies between Japan and America, China and Japan, and other former enemy nations. Projects like these continue in every region of the world and are striving to establish a new standard for women's empowerment. As the position of women gains prominence and the Women's Federation's efforts to enhance world peace become better known, it has gained recognition from many prominent world figures, including UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon.
The activities of Reverend Moon is very important. Why I consider it important? Because start of the inception of the United Nations.
By any standards, the worldwide impact of Reverend Moon's life and work is remarkable. He is remembered by many as a pioneer, tearing down the walls of division for the sake of reconciliation and unity. Whether publicly recognized or not, his trailblazing engagement with North Korea has contributed to the process of unification. He has left behind a great legacy, but there are many things to be accomplished to realize his vision of one family under God.
Wow, amazing. Ate Ma'am, may hinantay pa po ba tayo?
Pasok na, no? Papasok na lang siguro sila pag ano, can just start. Dito naman si Ate Elsa. So, full.
Okay, so good morning everyone. Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Mayong buntag. Wait a minute, hindi pala ako. I was so amazed with the video. I wasn't able to download the look content yet for a while. Kailangan natin. We have to get started already. So for us to formally start. Wait a minute. Just let me.
Channel ko content I can play.
Okay, so for us to get started with our morning session, we will just play Tunugok Anthem. Thank you, Randy.
사랑의 장미 비만의
Thank you very much. Dito did us the opening prayer. I would like to request our regional director of Zamboanga Peninsula, Ate Elsa Katway.
Join me in my prayer. Good morning to your most beloved heavenly parents and the true parents of heaven and earth and humankind. Thank you so much once again for this morning, this beautiful Sunday morning that together with our leaders from Mindanao, heavenly parents, and especially to our Sir Randy Ami, heavenly parents. We pray that this meeting, heavenly parents, could be able to really become victorious, and we could be able to really understand more, heavenly parents, about this tribal Messiah, heavenly parents. This is the desire of all the blessed families, heavenly parents, that we could be able to fulfill our 430 couples, heavenly parents, and become victorious. And this is our offering for our true mother, our true parents, heavenly parents. So please guide each and every one of us, heavenly parents, from this day, heavenly parents. Please be with us always, heavenly parents. Despite of this pandemic, heavenly parents, we're also trying our best to really fulfill, heavenly parents, our responsibility as tribal Messiah, heavenly parents. So this day, heavenly parents, we have our meeting, heavenly parents. We're very sorry, heavenly parents, that we could not be able to meet face to face with our Sandra and the Ami and other leaders, heavenly parents. So we hope and pray that this through this virtual heavenly parents seminars, we could be able to really, you could also be with us, and it could really also understand more, heavenly parents, especially this time, heavenly parents. But don't worry, heavenly parents, despite of all these things, we still haven't moving on, heavenly parents, to really become successful, heavenly parents. We know, heavenly parents, that many members also, heavenly parents, especially the blessed families, heavenly parents, trying their best to really offer this, heavenly parents, 430 30 couples, heavenly parents, and also for the liberations of our ancestors and blessing, heavenly parents, before 2027, heavenly parents. But we pray, heavenly parents, also, heavenly parents, that you could always protect all the leaders, heavenly parents, and also the blessed families, the second generations, especially brothers and sisters who are working so hard in the front line, heavenly parents, and also our Senator Randy Ami, heavenly parents. Please be with us today, heavenly parents, and we offer all these things in my name. Bong and Elsa, Central Blessed Family, Ju.
Thank you so
Good
much
morning po sa
po.
lahat.
Thank you so much po, Ate Els. And good morning once again po sa ating lahat. Welcome to Family Education virtual session. Kumusta po tayong lahat? Oh my God, ito pa lang. Okay. That's my hair. Okay. So, there. So, yeah. Kailangan pa ba nating mag-ano? I think it is also good even if we're only here in the virtual. I think it will be best for us all to introduce ourselves for the sake of our speakers, so you will get to know each one. It's like just meeting each and every one. What do you think? Ate Ma'am, no? So I think we have to get started, of course, with kahit kilala natin si Ate Elsa, kilala natin lahat, but I think we have to introduce each other. So we have to get started with Ate Elsa once again for the introduction of each and every one. Kilala ka po ate ulit for everybody's sake. And then everybody will also introduce themselves po. Para makilala po ni Kuya ang lahat. It's like meeting all of us. Thank you ate. Naririnig po ba ako? Do you hear me? Naririnig po ba ako? Kuya, okay. So, pwedeng magpakilala po ulit for the sake of Kuya Randy's getting to know each other kung saan tayo, pangalan na siyempre, ang pamilya natin, ilan yung mga anak natin, how did you, yun, basic lang po na information for Kuya Randy to be able to know all of us. Okay lang po ba?
And include na rin po how old yung mga anak para at least we
Para
can help.
yes. Thank you po. Ate Els, do you hear me? Pang-start po sa inyo po. Pang-introduction po ng family.
So, good morning everyone. Good morning Sir Randy. Happy Sunday po sa lahat. So, our
Morning po,
couple
ma'am.
is Bong and Elsa Katbay from Mindanao, Zamboanga City. So, bali may isa kaming anak, si Brian. Brian is going to 20 years old this coming August 7.
Wow.
So, mag-second year college na po siya. We are all three in the family. Thank you po.
Thank you so much po, Ate Els. As we thank Ate Elsa. Voluntary na po tayo or I will call on na lang po Ma'am Humawan for her introduction. Let's give her a big round of applause po. Virtual applause. Asan naman si Ma'am? Ate Ma'am, are you there? Oh.
Naka-mute po, ma'am.
Hello, good morning everyone.
Good morning.
Okay. Ako na?
Apo, ikaw na po.
Okay, yung headset kasi natanggal sa ano. Okay, good morning po. This is our first time, so thank you so much, Reverend Randy, for your patience in coming here in Mindanao. Your spirits is here in Zamboanga also, because it was been discussed before that you will be welcome in the Bason, but then because of this pandemic. So anyway, we feel victorious despite the fact na maraming na invites, pero sabi nga na many are called but few are chosen. So we are the chosen ones for this morning, and it gives inspiration that this might be done once a month. So I hope it will, for a deeper education of blessed members, blessed families actually. So
Noted
for
po,
me, with the unity of our leaders in Sampen, we believe that under the BFD, then we can work out, because this is very important for blessed families. We need that to be confident of what we know, but we need to go deeper for our education, for the sake of our generations. So that's for me, we are the Humawan couple, striving hard to follow God and true parents, because we believe that the providence is a continuous moving on. So we have we are blessed with 5 kids. They are now in the matching age. For the 3 of them are now in the matching age. So one is engaged, and then one is engaged, and then my eldest also is under process, maybe in September engagement also. Yan, tuloy-tuloy na yan pag may blessing. So I have also dalawa na I already have, or dalawa na lang hindi ma-match, so I'm praying for them also. And this is a great victory, and it's nice for us also that in the evening we have the closing prayer. So we train them as we just still living in a center, because we have also one full-time here now, sharing with us and looking at how to be educated also to become a blessed family someday. So we are now about, since we are 360 couples, more than 25 years being blessed, and it's still our feeling is it's just a new for us to really learn more about God, about going deeper, lalo kay NL ngayon, emphasizing too much education and going deeper to the principle. So it's nice for us also that we ourselves are also digging the deepest meaning of divine principle in our life through our practice every day also. So being in the BFD, I feel blessed also that we can reach out more blessed families, blessed couples who are hiding or who are not yet encouraged to really move forward, because this is our life. As a blessed couple, we need also to be activated and to multiply. So that's all maybe, and happy to be with you today as we go on with this lecture. Thank you. And at the same time, welcome Kuya Randy.
All right. Wow. Thank you so much, Ate Ma'am. As we,
Thank you po.
maraming salamat as we thank Ma'am Tere and welcome Kuya Samson and family. We will give them a big round virtual applause po. Okay, Sam, ikaw na po.
Wala pang naririnig, Kuya. Can you please
Unmute.
naka-unmute pero parang
They're watching it in the TV, I think so.
Kung tanggalin kaya yung tanggalin kaya yung headset po. Wala pa rin.
They want to see us in the screen, that's why. A wider screen. Right. Welcome po again. Wala pa din.
Mas magandang signal ka morning, hindi maputol-putol.
Okay. While waiting for Kuya Sam to fix his audio, maybe we can proceed to the Elazar Gapol, Sir Elazar Gapol family po.
Next line po siguro kasi. Good morning everyone. Next line po siguro kasi may piniprepare pa po. Sandali lang.
Okay. Alright. Sino pa ba? Let's welcome Ate Nila from Thailand. Are you there, Ate Nils?
Hello, good morning.
Okay. So, sa
Ayan po.
na po. Balik na po muna tayo kay Sir Sam.
Okay na?
Okay po, naririnig na po kayo.
Okay, nag-cellphone na lang ako.
Sige po.
Okay. Good morning sa lahat. Okay, dito sa amin, medyo marami-rami kami.
Very challenging yung ating Nakamute po ulit kayo, sir. Hindi ka po namin naririnig. Okay. Ano to? Since, ilan ba tayo?
Okay na?
Alright, sige po. Naririnig ka na po.
Okay. Sige. Sa Soria at yung asawa ko si Virginia Aro. Meron kaming tatnak. Sila na ngayon ay si Pilye, yung panganay, na i-match namin siya ng Japanese. At yung great-grandfather ng babae ay si Reverend Ken Sudo. Tapos they're already engaged just last January 2021. They're preparing for their blessing by October.
Wow, congratulations.
Yung pangalawa naman, 19 years old, ay naipamas namin siya sa isang Korean. Yung mama niya ay Pilipina, si Hinidina Miranda. Isa-isang anak nila doon, si Subin Wang. Nandun siya ngayon, nag-aral sa Sanmon University. At hindi pa sila engaged, they are still in their communication. Yung pangatlo naming anak, puro lalaki. So sa atin naman, ang lalaki naman maghanap ng ma-match. Kaya we are so grateful na kami ang naghanap. So yung pangatlo naman ay ano pa siya ngayon, 16 years old. So we are waiting na pag-abot ng 18, may pa-match namin siya. So lalaki pa rin. So we are blessed with 3 sons. Okay, so as of now, I'm connected with the DepEd, the Department of Education, and in senior high school as one of the high school in the district of Labason. But Labason,
Meron talaga pala ang signal doon. Ano po?
Gumagalaw man si ate, siguro yung sounds lang, yung ano niya, audio. Si ate Elsa ang nawala.
Yeah, very challenging pala ang ano natin. Nandiyan si ate. Wala na, nag-excuse na si ate Mila.
Kasi siyang tulog.
Kaya nga.
We'll proceed na to the next ate.
Okay, so kung ano po muna, maybe we can proceed to the Gapol family. Kung ano. You're welcome po, sir.
Okay po ate, good morning everyone. Good morning, Ate Sylvia, Kuya Randy,
Hello po, good
Ate,
morning po.
Ate Tere, Kuya Sam, lahat po ng blessed families na nandito. Japol family po, my wife, Marilo, is also on the Zoom now. Apat ang anak namin. PMC kami, may dalawang Jacob child na 11 at 10. Tapos may dalawa ding 3-year-old na boy at pang-apat 1-year-old, the blessed child. So nasa DepEd din ako. And to the effort nila Kuya Samson Ramizo, sila din nakapag-bless sa amin. So blessed to be here. Thank you for this opportunity. So good morning, everyone.
Wow, thank you po, sir. It's so good to see you all this morning. And yeah, si ma'am pa, paano ko pa ba si ma'am?
Nag-ano po nagduya ng anak namin.
Okay. Sige. She's listening.
Pero
So for us,
nag-view lang siya.
okay, sige po. Maraming salamat po again and welcome to our parents education. So this morning, hindi na tayo masyadong magtagal kasi para hindi mabambalam yung ating araw. But I know that you have especially spare this time for this very moment, this very, very precious time with Kuya Randy. And sige pa, nag-ano na ako. For us to be able to listen to his lectures as an initiative of the Blessed Family Department, dahil yung heart po ng ating national director together with him is really to reach out all of us. So, yun. Kaya nagkaroon nga ng ganitong mga initiatives. And then, yeah, it's so fortunate for us to have him here in Mindanao. Kasi nga, nagkataon na may leave po siya. And then I'm so blessed to have him, to host him here in Northern Mindanao with the hopes to see you all, as all pala. Anyway, ang speaker natin, marami na akong nasabi. Ang speaker natin ngayon is, of course, hindi lang bastang si Kuya Randy, but he is now our education head of the Blessed Family Department. And not only here in the Philippines, but I should say the whole Asia Pacific too, since I think Dulce is already raised there. And yeah, by profession, he is also a medical doctor specializing Oriental medicine. And then he has that greatest heart and desire. He is one of those people that I admire most because he has that kind of heart of really, conveying true parents' words to all of us. I wanted to address, if gusto niyang ipamana sa atin, I should say, pamana ba, na we can make our true parents rest. So, as Central West family. So, he has, together with Ate Dulce, no, he has that desire to make us all be, parang, paano ba sabihin, I don't know how to say that sa ating salita. Para bang, because we had been awakened, pero gusto niya nang i-encourage pa more yung ating desire to work together as a whole body to address and to comfort God's heart. So, please, my dearest brothers and sisters, ang dami ko nang sinabi, please help me welcome with a virtual round of applause our speaker for this day, Kuya Randy Ami. Pakan po
Hello
natin.
po, magandang umaga po sa lahat, and I'm very grateful to even though we were not able to see each other physically or face to face, but the good thing is at least we were able to have a virtual meeting together. So yeah, talagang pandemic is trying to stop, but God's plan should never stop, right? No matter what time, no matter what the situation is, God's plan should always be.
Adyo.
So anyway po, allow me to share my screen.
Kuya Randy, hindi ko na po kasi na-introduce ang family niyo po. Please say something about it po. Pasensya na po. Maraming salamat, Kuya.
Anyway, before we'll go further, ako po si Randy Ame from Tuguegarao City. Doon po ako na-witnessan, doon din po ako na-raise. And I was matched and blessed in 1997, 3.6 million, November 29, with a looks like Chinese Filipina from San Pablo City. Baka kilala niyo po si Ria Ame. Siya po yung former secretary ni Kuya Michael, tapos naging secretary din siya ni Kuya June Baswil, si Kuya Julius. And when Kuya Julius was elevated as the from Philippines to an Asia Pacific position, she also became the secretary of Kuya Julius. And right now, still with Kuya Julius and also supporting Reverend Hori in Asia Pacific too. And at the same time, siya rin po yung representative ng whole Asia Pacific for the Historical Committee or yung Sunhak Historical Committee. So, yeah, we are blessed with, actually, yung meron sa amin is 5 kids. But actually, we have 6, but we offered 1 to a Filipino-Japanese couple from Davao City. And kaya we're trying to go to Davao, pero it's not really possible to do. I have the one that we have in us is 2 girls and 3 boys. My eldest is 13 years old. Just became 13 last May 14 bago ako pumunta dito sa Mindanao. So right after her birthday, kumbaga celebration, tapos iniwan ko sila doon. Pero they're very, sabi naman niya, I know naman pa that you're doing the mission, so no problem. Kaya mag-celebrate na lang ulit kami pagbalik ko by 24. Okay, so yun, and I'm very happy to become part of the BFD, most especially as in terms of education. Kasi kung titignan natin, that has been the most important activity of true parents, preparing the people to receive the blessing. Di ba? And knowing the blessing, that is the way in order for us to be reconnected to the lineage of God, to change our blood lineage and to change our connection from Satan to God. So it has been it has been my dream to work with BFDs before, pero I was not given a chance, and ngayon lang talaga nagkaroon ng chance for me to become part when Ate Dulce asked me to assist in terms of education ng lahat ng mga matching candidate and including blessed families to really understand what is really, how important the blessing is. Okay? Kasi kung titingnan natin yung video kanina na pinanood natin, di ba? That is how much true Father create an environment for children to live peacefully in our environment. Okay? And that is a worldwide effort of true parents. And what can we do as individual blessed families, or the one that inherited the foundation that was laid by true parents, centering on receiving the blessing directly from them. Okay. So this time, we would like to present again. I know you already know this value and significance of the blessing, but we will understand it in the position wherein we can refresh ourselves. We can refresh and redetermine ourselves to redetermine ourselves to deeply have a deeper connection, most especially ano ba talaga yung blessing, ano pang plano ni God sa blessing, ano ba talaga yung rene-restore natin sa blessing. Is it just simply restoring the relationship of husband and wife and then passing that to our children, that they must be matched? We must prepare them for their matching, and we must raise them to become mature, or there's something deeper within it. Okay? So yan po yung center of our discussion, and I would like to welcome everybody and thank you Actually, last night, I'm thinking how can I wake up myself with the 4 o'clock. And natapos yung klase namin kahapon sa UPTA, yung 1 year Divine Principle Study is almost 10:30 na ng gabi. And then I needed to review yung presentation ngayon. Pero nagulat na lang ako kasi I was awakened 2 o'clock in the morning and hindi na ako nagising. Kaya inantay ko na lang dito yung pag-open ng Zoom natin. Actually, nag-connect ako around 3:30 ng umaga, ng madaling araw. And anyway, that's been my life. All night, I'm awake. And sometimes I only sleep 3 hours in the afternoon before the 21 days and before my shift start dun sa trabaho ko. Okay, so welcome po and thank you for giving time for this very important. I can say that this is really very important for us to reflect back and also re-educate ourselves. Okay? So we will be discussing again the significance and value of the blessing. Okay. And yeah, we'll be understanding how important and what is really the blessing that we have received. Okay. Is it just merely a union of man and woman and then having children? So ito yung pag-uusapan natin, and we will not be discussing the whole content of this presentation kasi sabi nga ni Ma'am Tere kanina, this will just be the start. Okay? Na umpisa pa lang to. Actually, yun nga yung pinag-usapan namin natin Dulce bago ako pumunta dito, na ito yung pilot trial ng parents education for us to really prepare children to receive the blessing and also guide on how to really educate our children to be prepared for the blessing. So what we'll be discussing is God's ideal of creation and marriage, and some part of it would be the change of blood lineage and the providence of restoration of the family. Okay, so ready na po ba lahat? Are we ready na po? Any sign, thumbs up, or ayan, thank you very much po. So to begin with, let us first understand the background of how the universe is being created, or how did God create? Okay. Paano ba na-create ang mundo? Did God create immediately Adam and Eve? Okay. If we will come to read the Bible, the creation started when God created the angels. Okay. And the reason why God created the angels, number one is created the angels to be his retainers and also servant, ministering spirit, and the purpose of which is that would assist him in creating and sustaining the whole universe. So we all know when we attended the divine principle that the angels are destined to help, okay, to help God in sustaining the universe, most especially helping Adam and Eve to become mature until they are ready to become husband and wife. So when God carried out the work of creation, he was assisted by angels. Those angels were to take care and protect Adam and Eve. It was not God, but the angels who were meant to protect and nurture Adam and Eve until they reached maturity and got married. So meaning, the position of the angels is to help Adam and Eve to become mature enough or to become totally mature so that they will be ready to become a good husband and wife. So that is the position of the three archangels actually. Admirer and helper for God, attend, protect, and nurture the children, the children of God, centering on our first human ancestor na sina Adam and Eve. Kaya napakahalagang role nila for the fulfillment of Adam and Eve's position to become the children of God and ultimately to give joy and happiness to God. Okay. And then after that, God created Adam and Eve. So God created Adam first. He was to be the son of God and at the same time, God's substantial body. So yung substantial body ni God is no other than Adam. And then later, God created Eve as the object partner of Adam so that Adam and Eve could perfect the ideal of horizontal conjugal love. that through Eve, magkaroon ng substantialization and perfection of God's ideal horizontal conjugal love to be seen here on earth. So Eve was to be the daughter of God, and also as a bride, she was to perfect substantially the ideal of the horizontal love of God. So these are the reason why Adam and Eve was created, to become the substantial body of God and at the same time the representative of God's wife, so that there will be a substantialization of God's love to be seen horizontally here on the physical world through the relationship of Adam and Eve. And from there, God can dominate the spirit world and the physical world through the relationship of the reciprocal relationship of Adam and Eve. Adyo po? And then after God created Adam and Eve, what's next? Tapos na ba lahat yun? Na-complete na ba yung creation? The creation is already complete, but Adam and Eve's portion of responsibility was not yet completed. Because God gave the three great blessings that is being written in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 28. And we can read in the book of Genesis that after God created heaven and earth, He created the ancestors of humanity, Adam the man and Eve the woman. God gave them the three great blessings. And not only gave them the three great blessings, but simultaneously their own portion of responsibility. Now, fulfilling the three great blessings and accomplishing their portion of responsibility, they can build God's ideal to be substantially seen here on earth. So ano ba yung three blessings na yun? So these blessings were, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over every living thing in the sea, on the earth, and in the air. So that is the three great blessings. Okay. And at the same time, God gave the man and the woman the responsibility, telling them not to eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So, alam naman natin, gas-gas na to, di ba? Paulit-ulit na lang itong sinasabi sa atin. Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over everything that we can see both in air and on earth. And at the same time, yung do not eat the fruit. This has been shared to us multiple times. But what does this mean? What does these things teaches us? Okay? So this teaches us what God's purpose was in creating human being and the universe. So dito natin maintindihan why God. Ano bang purpose ni God? Bakit nag-create? Okay? Before, we all know that our purpose is to give joy and happiness to God. Right? Once we can fulfill the three great blessings, but how can we give joy and happiness to God? Ano yung mga dapat natin gawin so that we can really give joy and happiness to God? So at the same time, it reveals the fundamental of life, the basic foundation of our life. So the blessing that they be fruitful means that all human beings are to develop their character and perfect their ability to love. And what kind of character we should be developing? Okay, that will determine if we have already perfect our ability to love. Diba yung sinasabi nating maturity? Ano ba yung maturity na yon? Is it just simply aging by the number of our age? Or it is our capacity to unconditionally love? Pag sinabi natin unconditionally love is instead na prioritizing yung differences or yung judgment in every situation that we have. Diba? It is our opportunity to understand and discover the potentiality for us to learn. Tama po ba? Does it make sense po? Adyo po?
May tao ba?
Adyo.
So ibig sabihin, it is our capacity to look at the positive side, learning opportunity more than judging the other person. And that's really important as a basis, as the beginning point, so that we can really understand how to relate properly with each other. And that is the development of our character. And that should be the characteristics that Adam and Eve should have developed, so that they can perfect the ability to love unconditionally. Why? Because the second blessing is multiplying life. Na ang ibig sabihin nun is the mature man and mature woman should form a relationship of husband and wife. Okay? What is a relationship of husband and wife?
Ano ba talaga yung relationship ng husband and wife? Diba? It should what? It should support and help each other. It should be a mutual relationship wherein there is a developmental that will be initiated by each other towards making each other to become a responsible and ultimately loving parent. Alam naman natin na pag sinabi natin loving, hindi lang yung ine-embrace mo yung anak, but opportunity to let your child understand that they have to practice and embody a good characteristics as well, so that when they go out from the family, they will also show same characteristics of becoming a good son or daughter. Okay? Yan. So yun yung tinatawag nating mature man and mature woman with a relationship of husband and wife. Hindi yung konting hindi pagkanawaan lang, uwi ka agad sa wala yan. No? Yan. And raise or have children and raise them, thus walking the path of parents. Okay? So it is not just our relationship as a husband and wife, but the most important as a way for us to really fulfill and prove that we became mature men and mature women is becoming a parents towards our children. Okay? Living unconditionally for the sake of our children. Na pag sinabi nating raise them and walk the path of parents, it is God's purpose of creation for the husband and wife leading the family, fulfilling the duties of a father and mother to make this world into a blessed land of comfort and riches. Wherein the child can be comfortable in the family. Dapat yung security and protection, wala sa labas. It should be within the relationship of husband and wife. Okay? And that's the time that we can develop richness together or riches together. Ito nga yung sinasabi ko na pag nagmamahalan ang mag-asawa, dumadami ang gamit sa bahay. Diba? Pero nagagamit. Pero pag hindi nagmamahalan ang mag-asawa, ano mangyari? Dumadami pa rin naman ang gamit sa bahay. Pero sa kasamaang palad, hindi nagagamit. And that is what we commonly see in our environment, in the society that we have. And ang tanong, eto ba yung gusto nating ipamana sa mga anak natin? Okay? And once we can understand that we are developing each other as a couple, that's the time that we can establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. Peace within the couple will also develop peace towards the children and peace of mind to the children. And that's the time na magkaroon ng better relationship ang husband and wife and including the whole family. So ibig sabihin, hindi na pupunta sa kapitbahay yung anak para maghanap ng comfort. Saan na? It is just within the family, within the relationship of husband and wife. So does it make sense po?
Yes po.
Yan. Kaya nga kung titignan natin, Adam and Eve should grow. Okay? Should grow together. For what reason? Number one is to coexist as a man and a woman. Okay? So the reason man and woman are created with different characteristics is for them to, for what? For what purpose? It is to complement and help each other. And that is the reason why they should be together. Although they are different, but they should complement and support and help each other. And also, a man and woman are born for the sake of each other. Alam naman natin na man is destined for woman and woman is destined for man. Right? Para magkaroon ng identification ng man, we needed a woman. And for identification of a woman, we needed a point of reference na man. That's why men and women are different from each other, both physically and character, but they are in reciprocal harmony together. Okay, so this is really very important that we have to understand that the reason why men and women should grow together because we needed to coexist, because we support each other and we help each other. And most especially, a man and woman cannot accomplish their purpose without each other. A woman cannot become a mother without a man, and a man cannot become a father without a woman. That's why the fulfillment of purpose of each other, the reason why we are created to be a man and woman is for us to unite together and coexist together. Adyo po?
Adyo.
Yan.
Adyo.
Kaya kung titignan natin the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, it is being written, so God created man in his own image, male and female, he created them. Meaning, male is not only the image of God. That is just half of God's personality. Female is another half. Okay? And the completion of God's image here on earth is when male and female are totally in perfect harmony, manifesting the harmonious relationship of the dual characteristics of God. So this is the only one reason why God needed the creation. To realize the ideal of true love, na alam natin ang basis is through the unity of the dual characteristic of God in masculine and feminine to be substantialized through the unity and harmony of man and woman or male and female. Kaya napakahalaga yung role nila Adam and Eve to prove that God exists here on earth. Not only God's existence, but most especially the true love of God that is totally part of our life. Prove that God's love is possible and can be experienced, can be felt. Not only as a couple, but even to our children. Aju? So God developed life in pairs. This is what we can see in our society, in our environment or the natural world. Everything is in pairs, from the simplest and lowest level up to human level. We can see subject and object, positive and negative. For what purpose? It is to form a reciprocal relationship under the ideal of love. Na pag sinabi nating ideal of love, that is our practice of living for the sake of others. Yun yung sinasabi ni Father na living for the sake of others with jungsong, with utmost sincerity. Na even you wanted to, you can offer your life for the sake of your wife, for the sake of your husband. And both husband and wife can offer their life for the sake of the children. Okay? And that is the creation's ideal of love. And that is also God's ideal of ultimate love. And these are not separable or different. They are just one. Okay? Kaya nga, yun yung laging ina-emphasize ni Father sa atin. Utmost sincerity in practicing a lifestyle of living for the sake of others. And through the relationship of husband and wife, dun lang natin malalaman kung we have become mature or not. Okay? Yan. So we all know that from the principle of creation is at work to complete the absolute love of God through the realization of true love between man and woman in the human world. So this is what we have understood in the purpose of creation. Right? In the purpose of creation, centering on three great blessings. It is the realization of true love of God that should be manifested through the harmonious reciprocal relationship between man and woman. That is the reason why in the beginning God created one man and one woman called to be Adam and Eve. Kaya nga, even in our relationship din, okay, kung babalikan natin yung seremonya sa kasal sa ating community, di ba? Ang pinagsama ng Diyos kailanman di mapaghiwalay kahit ninuman kahit na kamatayan. And that is the time that when two become one. They are not two anymore, but they will just become one. Pero sad to say, that is not being practiced in real life. Only in terms of commitment during the marriage ceremony. But after, ano ba yung reality na nangyari? Minsan di pa nga namamatay, napapalitan na. Adyo po ba?
Adyo.
Yan. Bakit? Bakit nagkakaroon ng ganon? Okay? Ang ganda-ganda ng sumpaan nila nung nagliligawan. But after which, what had happened? Okay? Did they grow together to develop each other? So the second growing of Adam and Eve is not only to coexist, but to develop their love together. Okay? And Adam and Eve's love was to develop through their relationship with God in heart and with the natural world as their teacher. Ibig sabihin, napakahalaga talaga that our children should understand, or most especially young people or our next generation that will be preparing for the matching, to understand how important the relationship with other people as a brothers and sisters. Because that is the only opportunity for them to discover different personalities and opportunity to adjust from different personalities. Kaya nga lagi sinasabi ni true parents sa atin, di ba? Even before na, there should be no exclusive relationship aside from brotherly and sisterly relationship within the center. And when we go out from the center, we should bring the same relationship of true brother and sister, so that we can enjoy the natural world and we can understand how to live centering on the model of the natural world. Kasi kung titignan natin, ano ba makikita natin sa natural world? Diba? They coexist and they develop together. Kaya napakahalaga that we should nurture and develop our love through developing a continuous relationship of husband and, or not husband and wife, but true brothers and sisters. Kaya nga even tayo, di ba, after we receive the matching, after we were matched, ang tingin na ba natin sa isa't isa is mag-asawa na ba? It is not. Mother and son. For what purpose? So that we can raise our heart to love unconditionally each other. Kaya napakahalaga yung, lalong-lalo na yung tinatawag nating 40 days separation. Because that is the culmination of actual practice of how we can look at each other as a true brother and true sister. Na pag na-develop natin yon, that's the time that we can really give a true essence of the 3 days ceremony that we'll be doing after the 40 days as a transition from a mother and son to husband and wife relationship. Adyo po?
Adyo.
Yeah. That's why Adam and Eve was born as children, were meant to gradually grow in the realm of God's protection. As their intellect developed, they would have come to realize why God created all things, and God would have educated them through the created world. The created world where everything is in motion provided resources for the education of Adam and Eve, who were our original ancestors, and it was a textbook teaching them how to live. Actually, nung nabasa ko to, at dito ko naintindihan yung sinasabi ni Father na our children should be exposed to the environment, should be with the natural world. They should embrace everything that they can see in the natural world. Because from there, they can understand how they should relate properly, not only to the parents, but even to other brothers and sisters once they will go out from the family. Pero pag sa mga insect pa lang, dinedevelop na natin yung hate, how much more when they will relate to other people? The more they will develop hate to other people. Bakit? Ano ba ang natural world? Okay? So the natural world that we have, this world was a model and a museum showing them how to lead an ideal life. By observing all things around them as they grew, they would naturally have learned how to relate to each other in love. Whether they looked at the insect world or the world of higher animals, they were meant to discover that these living things are made in interacting pairs in order to do things for each other, call to each other, and love each other. So makikita natin, ma-observe natin yung total support and development through observing the natural world. Tama po ba? Does it make sense po?
Yes.
Diba? Kaya nga, di ba sa tao, kung tao ang maging subject natin of observation of life, makikita natin is full of hatred. Pero makikita natin sa natural world, even though we can see a conflict in terms of food, but after they learned that they needed to share, nag-aaway pa rin ba? Nagpapatayan pa rin pa ba yung mga animals? No. They tend to allow each other to share what they have. And after that, we can observe that then they enjoy living together and coexist together. And that is the learning that we can get from the natural world. And it's really important because from there, maintindihan natin how we should live our life together in preparation for us to become a good husband and wife. That's why sabi nga, di ba, the best preparation for marriage is for us to think that everybody are my brothers and my sisters without any emotional intention of exclusive relationship of having a um, boyfriend and girlfriend. That is the starting point na sinasabi nating magkakaroon ng best husband and wife. Pero actually, that is not the best preparation kasi nawawala ng opportunity to understand the different characteristics that we can observe in the natural world and with our interaction with other people. Kaya nga kung titingnan natin, original love of men and women is the best preparation for marriage. And when we talk about ideal spouse, we cannot imagine the ideal spouse without first experiencing the relationship of true brothers and sisters. Okay? Kaya nga, yun yung purpose ng 40 days separation na sinasabi ni Father sa atin. Yung tradition natin na 40 days separation. So that we can really develop a true brother and sister. Hindi muna yung exclusive relationship of husband and wife. Or pag-aari kita. No. You are my brother, you are my sister, that I needed to adjust and I needed to learn many things from you, from our differences together, so that we can grow and we can develop together our love as a husband and wife in the future. Kaya kung titignan natin, the first meeting of the opposite sex is, for a woman, it is her father and elder brother. And for a man, it should be his mother and elder sister. And sabi nga dito, when one meets a person of the opposite sex, one should feel towards that person as one does towards one's father or mother, brother, or sister. There should be no emotion beyond brotherly and sisterly love towards the opposite sex. Kailan lang magkakaroon? Only after the blessing. Okay? Yan. So the love of men and women is an extension of children's love and brotherly sisterly love. Children's love and brotherly sisterly love must develop fully before one's marriage. So dapat yun muna yung fully developed between relationship of husband and wife before they will be engaged into a exclusive relationship. Kaya yung sinasabi din sa labas na to become a best friend as a best preparation, actually hindi rin yun. Ang best preparation is for us to feel and experience that we are all brothers and sisters. Why? Because when we talk about husband and wife, ano ba yung kinakailangan doon? Diba? It is important to have a total investment for our spouse. And that is the starting point of true love. Ano ba yung total investment na sinasabi? Hindi lang dapat yung husband ang nag-iisip na dapat mahalin niya at pagsilbihan niya ang kanyang asawa. But even the wife, they should also think. Kasi doon nagkakaroon ng common base and interaction between husband and wife. When both think that they needed to love unconditionally and serve their partner eternally as the representative of God's image here on earth. Adyo po? Yeah. Kaya it's not enough na mahalin ko lang yung asawa ko. Mahalin ko lang yung husband, mahalin ko lang yung wife ko. We have to think that how we can develop a reciprocal and harmonious. And in what way? It is always thinking of I needed to love unconditionally and serve my husband or my wife. That should be the common base of relationship of husband and wife. Kasi kung ito yung point of reference of our relationship together, magkakaroon ng deeper essence and value ang mga anak. And not only that, magkakaroon ng true essence of our sexual organ. Kasi sabi nga niya, di ba? The sexual organ or the reproductive organ is the most important of all organs in the body. Why? Because it is the culminating point of conjugal horizontal love of God to be substantially manifested here on earth. Na ito dapat yung magpapakita ng essence of true love. And it enables the husband and wife to unite spiritually and physically. So sexual organ is not just an organ for us to remove toxic substances in our body na ginagamit sa pangihi. But the main value is for husband and wife to completely unite together spiritually and physically. Because through that, through experiencing true love with each other through the sexual organ, that's the time that we can create true life. Nabubuhay ang husband and wife. Kaya nga kung titignan natin, through the sexual organ of men and woman, once they use it in terms of experiencing love, what will happen? Sa mga short-lived men and woman, magkakaroon ng extension. Why? Because it is giving true life. Not only between husband and wife, but it will create a new being that will be raised to become our next generation. And instead of killing our next generation, we will be giving life to the next generation. And ultimately, our sexual organ will give us lineage, allow us to inherit God's love and pass God's love to our next generation. Kaya nga kung titingnan natin, wala tayong ibang wish sa ating mga anak, but for them to become good children to other people outside the family. Because from there, we can say that we became also good parents. And that's the time that we let them inherit the love of God, and we create and multiply and expand God's lineage. Kaya the sexual organ is the most holy place in all creation. And we all know that once we stain or abuse this organ, it is the most terrible act of destroying God's ideal of creation. Kaya nga sa heavenly law, ito yung number 1. Do not stain blood lineage. And paano ba na-stain ang blood lineage? It is through misusing sexual organ. That's why when God created man, okay, Adam and Eve, they created only one man and one woman. And when we talk about the love of Adam and Eve, it is just one, not two. Okay? So there is only one husband and one wife in a love relationship. If you have dated and had illicit love relationship before getting married, you should repent. As long as you continue such behavior, you cannot enter the realm of God's love. Originally, your first experience of love should be with God. Okay? So our experience of relationship of love should only be with God. Kaya nga kung titingnan natin, ang pinaka-main purpose of Adam and Eve, why they needed to grow to maturity is for them to substantially experience the horizontal conjugal love of God. And that can only happen through marriage ceremony. And the question is, sino ba dapat yung magbigay ng basbas kina Adam and Eve? Okay? In the Garden of Eden, ano nangyari? Meron ba tayo nabasa na binasbasan ni God yung relationship nila Adam and Eve? Wala, di ba? Kaya nga sabi ni Father, the most awaited, okay, yung pinakaantay ni God ay walang iba kundi yung i-officiate niya yung marriage ceremony nila Adam and Eve. Anong ibig sabihin nun? What does it mean? The only way for us to be called married couple, it is only through God's blessing. Without God's blessing, our marriage will not be a marriage. But what it is just a simple union of man and woman. Okay? Why? The original purpose of marriage is to inherit God's love, creatorship, and lordship through true parents. Kaya very important that we should be connected to true parents. We should inherit the marriage ceremony of our true parents. And we should raise our children as well to receive the marriage ceremony from true parents. Okay? There has been no way to inherit everything of true parents. Therefore, we can say there has been no true marriage. Kaya anong marriage makikita natin sa labas? It is just a conditional marriage. Yun nga yung sinasabi na till death do us part. Pero pagdating sa totoong buhay, hindi pa namamatay, napapalitan na. Bakit? Okay? Because the conjugal relationship of love is allowed only between a blessed husband and wife. Paano ba tayo maging blessed husband and wife? It is only through God's blessing. Aju? Kaya nga sabi ni Father, ano ba yung pinaka-importante na responsibility na true parents? It is to expand the blessing of God to all people. That's why, anong sad to say, anong pinapakiusap sa atin ni True Mother sa ngayon? Even just 30% of the population of the world will understand and proclaim the blessing and receive the blessing. Kaya nga, di ba, meron tayong blessing festival. Bakit biglang nag-organize si Mother na kailangan i-proclaim sa buong mundo na meron tayong blessing ceremony? Because this is the only way so that people can be connected to God and be aware that God's blessing is already in our hand. Matagal nang ginagawa ni Father. Matagal nang pinasa sa mga blessed families. Now we have to share it to our next generation or to our blessed children. And not only our blessed children, but even to our tribe. So that we can really bring them back to God. Adyo po?
Adyo.
Kaya ganun ka-importante yung blessing. Hindi siya yung simpleng ceremony lang na sinasabi natin. Hindi yung simpleng union of man and woman. But that is the inheritance of God's blessing. And true parents invested their whole life. They go beyond ridicule. They go beyond threat of life for the sake of fulfilling this promise to God. Now, I will make people be connected to you through the blessing. Kaya kung titignan natin, after we receive the blessing, ano yun? We are so grateful. Because of all the people, we are the one who received the blessing directly from God through our true parents. Adyo po?
Adyo.
Okay, it's not just as simple. Okay? Kaya nga, after the blessing, anong gagawin natin? Can we just sit back and relax? Actually, we should not. We should become more eager. Dapat lahat ng tao makareceive din ng blessing. Right? And we should be proud of, we should proclaim this blessing to all people. Why? The blessing ceremony of Unification Church is not simply a wedding to which a man and woman come together and form a family. Until now, all weddings were solely for the sake of people getting married. But our wedding ceremony is significant and necessary to set a condition to indemnify the past and return joy to God. Ito yung most awaited. Hamakin mo, 6,000 years inantay ni God na i-officiate yung union of a man and a woman. And true father did it. True parents did it. True parents allowed us to receive such a blessing coming from God. Kaya nga, di ba? How grateful we are. That's why we conduct our ceremony in a sacred and splendid manner. And we all know from the divine principle that it clearly explained to us that our wedding ceremony alleviates God's bitter grief that was caused by the fall of Adam and Eve. It goes beyond the standard of husband and wife which Jesus was unable to attain. Ito rin yung pinaka-wish ni Jesus Christ, makareceive ng blessing 2,000 years ago. Pero hindi pinayagan ng mga tao. But they sent him to the cross. And true parents was able to do it. Successfully bring victory for God. Nagkaroon ng opportunity si God na ma-officiate yung union of men and women starting from true parents. And then binigyan tayo ng opportunity to share this to our brothers and sisters. Not only to our tribe, but most especially to our family. Most especially to our children. Aju? Yan. Bakit ganun na lang yung eagerness ni Father? Because we all know that marriage of Adam and Eve is the perfection of love. Okay? The perfection of love through the marriage of Adam and Eve, this is the appearance of God's love on earth. Yun yung substantialization of horizontal love of God. na hindi lang yung vertical love ni God ang nag-exist, but the horizontal relationship of men and women also exists through the conjugal relationship of Adam and Eve. And that's the time na magkaroon ng true image si God. Aju? So conjugal love is the representation of all kinds of love, wherein you can adjust from becoming a husband and wife to become a brother and sister, to become a parent and child, to become a mother and son, and so on and so forth. So ito yung pinaka versatile na kinds of love, because we can adjust so that we can develop a harmonious relationship together. Okay, that's why the place in which Adam and Eve are perfected, consummating their first love by marrying under God's blessing, is precisely the place where God meets his substantial bride. This is because God's ideal of absolute love descend vertically and connect with Adam and Eve at the point where they experience the ideal of conjugal love horizontally. So the true love of God and the true love of humankind join and are perfected at the same point, although they come from different direction, one vertical and the other is horizontal. So kahit vertical and horizontal yan, once they will substantially develop their love relationship together horizontally, that's the time that there will be a meeting point of the two kinds of love. Kaya napakahalaga yung marriage ceremony na it should be officiated by God. It should be allowed and being, ano yun? Being done by God, approved by God. Okay? Hindi yung ang mag-approve yung kapitbahay, yung kaibigan, or tukso ng ibang tao. Adyo po? So we marry in order to resemble God. Thus husband and wife united return to God. Together they are the reflection of his original image. We need marriage because it is the only way to develop our true love. So men and women were born from love. This marriage is the way for each of us to reach perfection. In order to become perfect, we each need an object partner. And the reason we get married is because each of us is only half of the whole, only half of the world. Okay? Kalahati lang yung dinadala natin. Okay? And the completion of each other is when man and woman meet together and go into a matrimony of marriage. Aju? So the marriage of Adam and Eve is the precondition for the perfection of the four great realms of heart. Therefore, without marriage, perfection of human being is impossible. Okay? What kind of marriage? It is a true marriage that is officiated and approved by God. Hindi yung kung sino-sino lang yung nagbigay ng tukso tapos naniwala naman tayo kaya we engage into a relationship. Kaya kung titingnan natin outside the blessing, husband and wife relationship is very lax and there is no true marriage. It is just a mere union of man and woman. So husband should perfect his wife simultaneously. He should be perfected by his wife. And wife should perfect her husband simultaneously. She should be perfected by her husband as well. So we all know that through our relationship together, it is the perfection of each other. And through our union, that's the time that we can conceive children. And having children means we are really, how do you call that? We are really making the conjugal love substantially, or the horizontal love to be substantially be seen here on earth as the manifestation of the vertical love with God. Okay? Kaya napakahalaga talaga yung role ng husband and wife in raising our children. Because that will be the manifestation of the horizontal love of God to husband and wife and to the children. So Adam and Eve stand in the position of horizontal parent to their children. Likewise with God, God will become the vertical parents of Adam or the children of Adam and Eve. Kaya nga kung titignan natin, ang mga parents, we are the what? We are the visible God of our children. And if the children can see the visible manifestation of God through the parents, that's the time that the children can also respect and see the presence of God into their life. Because God is then the position of vertical parents to the children, and the children are God's as well as Adam and Eve's children as well. God and Adam and Eve will become completely one, and that's the time that the children can feel the presence and existence of God into their life through the relationship of conjugal love, of living for each other, of husband and wife, and being officiated by God through the matrimony of marriage. Yeah, when we talk about relationship of husband and wife, it's not just simple heart. It's not just a simple expression of love of our heart, but it should be with utmost sincerity. Kaya nga, God's simjung and love would have been passed down through this blood lineage from one generation to another. Kaya ito yung lagi sinasabi ni Father, simjung. Okay? And then we have to do it with utmost sincerity. Okay? Because from there, that's the time that we can show God's image to our children. And ultimately, we can become true parents in front of our children. So when God, vertical parent, and Adam and Eve, horizontal parents, are united, then Adam and Eve will be called as the true parents of humankind. So that is the pattern, the original pattern. So the ideal of creation is accomplished through the ideal family that is being set forth by Adam and Eve in the very beginning of human history. So ito yung rene-restore ng blessing na binibigay sa atin ni Father. Okay? We allowed God to officiate marriage, our marriage, and to be connected to God's lineage. So the marriage of Adam and Eve and God's ideal of creation are inseparable. They are just one. Aju? Aju po? So that is how important the blessing that we have received from God and true parents. Okay? Ganun siya ka-value na it is the substantialization of God's, not only God's image, but most especially the existence of God's love to this physical world that we have. And that's the time that we can allow not only our children, but even the rest of creation will experience God's love and God's presence that is actively participating in our daily life. So I hope po na with that we have learned something on understanding and deepening our understanding of the value of the blessing that we have received. Good morning po sa lahat.
All right, very well said. Maraming salamat po, Kuya Randy, for that.
Thank you so much.
Meron po ba tayong questions or
juncture, I think we're going to have question and answer if you'd like to, and then reflection na rin po.
Umpisa pa lang po to. So many more. Okay? So, kumbaga, this is just the starting point of our initiative in BFD to really guide and let the parents understand how important the blessing that we have. And as we go along, makita nyo naman po, ang dami pa nating pag-uusapan, no? Understanding the fall, bakit, ano ba talaga yung fall? Is it just a simply separation of Adam to God? Na yun yung laging sinasabi sa atin sa divine principle. Disconnection of Adam and Eve to God, nawawala ng relationship ng parents. But we can have a deeper understanding of that as we continue to discover more how important the blessing that we have received from God and through parents.
Okay po.
May mga tanong po ba tayo?
So, so first, we are very blessed, and I can see the four-position foundation of the leaders that are present here to welcome Kuya Randy. We are the pillars. Actually, makita natin sa screen, nandito ang family ng Ramiso, Gapol, Katbay, and Humawan. Actually, this is a very nice start for us, especially sa BFD natin, sa region, since hindi natin pwedeng pabayaan ang mga blessed families natin. Education, yeah. This is a good start. Though there are many are called, but few are chosen, and we believe that this is a plan by God na we need to really start as a foundation for this. So I've been reflecting while Kuya Randy is, and then I also follow up some members whom I have contacted yesterday, but then pati si Benji hindi na nakagising, hindi na napasok. So anyway, Pagadian representative sana. But I know there's a great purpose for this, and as we go along with this lecture, though we need blessed families, even we are long time in the movement, we still need to have a deeper and understanding of what is our position is, so that we can influence more other people, other blessed families who are there outside, to encourage them also to have a deeper understanding and connection to God and true parents. So continuous process talaga ang education natin as a member of the unification. Yan lang po ang ko rin, reflection ko for this. And thank you for the nice start of the lecture, emphasizing about the value of our relationship as a couple. Couple is very basic, especially in the education of our blessed children who are now in the matching age. And they are very sensitive. Blessed children are very strong. And if we parents could not show the right example, they can correct us. They can even correct us. That's the main reason why at the very start, kahit pinakabata pang blessed child, we need now to start to educate them in a right way so that we will not be hard up pagdating ng araw. But if we are not educated as blessed couple or family, or showing example to our children, then at the end, makikita natin how mahihirapan tayo na mag-educate sa kanila about the blessing, especially the matching. So yan lang po, Kuya Randy. Po.
And the worst is they will hate the blessing.
Yeah.
Which is another pain to God and to parents.
Yeah, maybe baka meron ding si Kuya Bong. I know very si Kuya Bong.
Good morning po.
Hello po.
Narinig niyo ba ako?
Opo, kaya.
Actually, salamat Kuya Randy sa education, no? Sa sharing niyo. So, actually ang talaga natin is mula pa nung start talaga ang education talaga natin is yung bang how to perfect ourselves, how to overcome yung mga situation, yung relationship tapos para yung sa future, yung relationship natin, no, as husband and wife, kung namatch na tayo. Actually yun ang pinaka-kwan natin, no? Bakit marami nag-join, no? Especially no, sa case ko, why I joined the church, because yung concept na yung ideal family, yun talaga yun yung pinaka. Bakit no, since 1991 narito pa rin ako, kasi yun yung pinaka-kwan ko talaga na in the future gusto ko talaga na magkaroon ng no ideal family. So yung teaching talaga ni Father is talagang napaka-importante ito sa atin. Kasi hindi lang tayo mabubuhay as individual, no? So magkakaroon talaga tayo ng family in the future. No, yun yung pinaka-pan talaga na preparation, no? Hindi lang yung ang preparation natin as individual, but we prepared when we have family na talaga. Kaya nung nag-start bago ako mag-start ng family, I talk also sa mga elder natin na binigyan nila kami ng guidance about how to have family, paano magkaroon ng relationship sa asawa, ganyan. Yun kasi yung kasi in the future, children will look at us, yung bang, paano yung relationship natin mag-asawa. Pero one thing na talagang na-catch talaga yung angko is yung bang, yung through us, we can perfect our partner. Yan. Through us, we can, yung bang, ito yun yung bang pinakakwan is yung bang, we have to discover talaga na, yung bang, we have to discover kung anong klaseng love na gusto ng husband natin or wife natin. No, pag na-discover mo yon, everything will follow na. No? Kasi pag hindi mo na-discover yon, talagang there's always conflict between yung relasyon ng mag-asawa. No? Hindi siya ganun kadali na, totoo yan, meron tayong principle, meron tayong pero pinaka-base talaga yung bang paano mo mawin talaga yung heart niya na magiging na mapapamahal siya sa'yo. Kanya, mapapamahal ka sa kanya. Yung discovering, kailangan hindi kasi yan paminsan, hindi yan sinasabi. Kasi nga, yung husband and wife or man and woman, opposite talaga yan eh. So, mahirap talaga yan silang mahirap talaga silang makapag-unite kung wala talaga yung principle, yung teaching father, at saka hindi talaga magkakaroon ng magandang relationship kung hindi mo madi-discover talaga kung paano sa mahalin. Siguro, nakuha mo din yung bang yung trust niya sa'yo, nawin mo yung heart niya. Ito yung pinaka-basic na foundations ng magandang pamilya, and then children will follow. Hindi natin kasi pwedeng educate lang sila minsan sa lecture lang or sa dapat may experience nila yan sa family. Kaya nga sinasabi palagi nila Dr. Young noon na not easily na makokan natin yung ating mga children hindi natin sila easily ma-educate ng gusto natin. Dapat may experience nila yan. Dapat mahanapan sa mission or sa frontline. Dapat makita nila si God doon. Dapat maintindihan nila tayo doon sa frontline. So, children will be connected to us through doon sa experience nila sa frontline. Ganon din sa education din ng children. Minsan din natin kailangan isabi sa kanila ma-educate sila sa nakikita nila sa atin. So yun yung talaga. Pero nung nag-start kasi ako ng family yun bang talagang din kasi marami ring mga hindi rin maganda yung relationship sa family, pero yun yung talaga na yun bang I did my best talaga na yun bang maganda yung relasyon namin mag-asawa. Tsaka yung mga ng mga elder, doon talaga kailangan maging maganda yung relasyon nyo para children will follow, children will ito yung the best education talaga na magkakaroon talaga sila ng hindi lang doon sa husband and wife, talagang yung children really connected sa atin, So, yun lang. Thank you very much.
Thank you po.
Maybe you can hear from Sir Mesa and Gopal.
We need to grab the opportunity now.
And if you have any questions also, you can ask Sir Randy directly.
Parang hindi na narinig. O na,
Oo nga.
wala, parang wala silang. Hello, Sir Ramiso. It's your chance. It's your...
Ah,
Ano
wala
niya.
nga na. Wala daw audio. Audio daw po.
How about Sir Duffy po? Do you have any question po, sir? Or any concern? You can address po to Sir Randy as our...
Pwede pong i-chat, sir, para we can read, para everybody can...
read it.
Opo.
Wala pa siya. Siguro pag ganito, Kuya Randy, can I suggest na Mindanao wide ang ano, para hindi masayang yung oras kung once a month tayo.
You can discuss po sa with other PFD coordinators para we can set up yung mas
malaki.
Opo. Pero anyway, kung Zoom din naman, okay din yung okay din yung small audience para we can really focus ang kumbaga focus group, magiging focus group siya na kasi pag malaki rin masyado, minsan we cannot really focus din eh.
Okay. So sampen ang ano. So we can just schedule po. Pero okay lang po sa inyong schedule. To once a month, and then we will invite new ones, new couples.
Sure po, no problem po. That would be a great thing that we can help from the national. It's our pleasure po.
So I guess Sir Samson can invite more kasi marami doon sa Labason. And then marami ring mga bago na ngayon na blessan ni Ate Elsa. So this time is siguro ang time na ito. We can a little bit sacrifice in once a month. Then, but it's very it's just worth actually. It's worth. So we will discuss with our regional leader how could we. So under ito ng activity of BFD.
Continuous education po.
Kasi I've been thinking also on the education of the second gen. May GC rin sila dito. But I let Songphil also plan for that sa mga second gen din.
Adyo po.
It's good po na the second gen NBCC, we know very well that they are whether they will like it or not, in the long run they will be going to their case. I mean, when they reach a certain age, they will definitely belong to the BFP. So I think it would be best if they two can work hand in hand, and it's a very good venue for them, for us together to learn from each other. Sometimes we tend to separate our, because it's like departmental, but in that aspect, we seem to have a mindset na, wala po muna kayong pakalam dito. Parang ganun. I may be wrong, no? Pero yun yung observations ko na I think we should, parang meron tayong lacking.
Your part, I am very grateful kasi you're setting example already. Although you're empowering our kids, but of course we have to always make it a point that we are on the, not because we wanted to have a clout on them, but somehow maybe oversee so that they can really be guided accordingly. And then definitely they will be the future, just like us. So that's important to have us as a generation to understand full understanding of our responsibility and how we will guide them.
And also we have the continuous 21 days BFD Divine Principle online seminar. And based on our continuous 21 days program na ginagawa namin, more and more second generation are joining and they are getting more excited Kasi marami yung mga second gen talaga na hindi natin ma-deny that they don't want to attend divine principle anymore. Pero dito sa 21 days, nagkakaroon sila ng discovery of a deeper understanding of the principle. It's not just the traditional presentation, but most especially how they can really prepare themselves to be ready to become the right person for the one that is being prepared by God for them. And based on our 8 batch na 21 days, na malapit na mag-start yung 9th batch, yung mga second gen na nag-attend talagang they said na it's really quite different, na it's we have a different experience and at the same time learning. Because yung 21 days ng 21 days ng VFD na online, this is purposely for preparing young people to receive the matching and ultimately receive the blessing. So you can also let them join that one. You can register. So before, our only schedule is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Pero ngayon meron na rin kaming Saturday, Sunday na 2 o'clock to 2 to 4 p.m. para we can cater yung mga may pasok ng Monday to Friday and only available during Saturday, Sunday. So these are the initiatives that we have in order to guide and help, most especially our matching candidate and including the blessed families. And with this victory that we have gone, kasi yung pag-ikot ko din sa Mindanao, sa mga HTM dito, giving the same presentation, they realize many things na hindi lang pala ganun kasimple. Even sa Higaonon kahapon, nung nag-lecture kami doon, hindi lang pala ganun yung plano ni Father Moon sa pagkatapos ng 3-day ceremony, tapos na. Okay. And even sa Iligan, sa Santa Elena, talagang they have a deep realization, understanding this. And even ngayon, nagcha-challenge sila na they should be practicing the tradition of Kondokya na rin. Okay. And yeah, actually this program is also very important to sa mga nag-HTM, so that we can really solidify yung mga HTM ninyo. They can also join. Aju? Kasi ang BFD is dapat ma-make sure na ang lahat ng mga naka-receive ng blessing, it should not give pain anymore to God and true parents. Because the purpose of BFD is to make sure that we receive the blessing and we wanted to give joy and happiness to God and true parents. Tama na yung naghirap si God. Tama na yung naghirap si true parents. Tama na rin yung naghirap tayo. Diba? Dapat we should now be giving back what is due to God, what is due to true parents, and what is due to blessed families. Aju?
Is it okay if I say something, Koy? May sasabihin mo po. So, with that being said by Kuya Randy, I had this opportunity I would like to take this opportunity to humbly ask everyone, especially this for Position Foundation, the pillars of Zamboanga Peninsula, na if I hope we can really be able to contemplate on how urgent it is for us to work together. And then part of the BFD's initiatives on how are we going to convey God's words there is this ongoing Universal Principle Training Academy that I think would really enhance and really be able to harness in a way our capacity or our talents, but most importantly is to nurture our artistic relationship and connection to God by again reinventing ourselves on how can we be able to convey the words of God, the divine principle. So I would like to humbly ask in behalf of them, even if I was not asked. It's just that maybe I'm just inspired that along the way, because as I have been observing this opta classes with diverse of people involved different walks of life, I think it is more challenging in our part on how are we going to participate. And it is not just the ordinary divine principle lectures series education. It's very interactive that among each other from different parts of our country, we can really learn the best practice there is, and then we can really interact. And I personally can feel the ito yun, baka masyado na akong emotional, no? But I can personally feel yung connectivity, genuine connectivity among each other ng mga nandoon. There are only very few, but I really believe na through Kuya Randy's initiative and of course with the blessing of our national BFT and our national leader. In fact, if I don't know if nabasa natin lahat yun, there was a memorandum asking all regional leaders even, I think so, to participate or to enroll in OPTA because I myself had seen the beauty, how beautiful it was. It's a 1 year divine principle lectures, I mean, schooling, something like that, again. But it's so, honestly, it's really amazing to be part of that. Hindi pa naman ako, I'm not well versed, of course. I'm yet also studying, as you can see. And, but I can assure to myself, there was a great learning. Even if we already know the principle, honestly, there would be great opportunity to rediscover the beauty and how are we going to convey this to our children and to our people. Kaya nga, there was a young couple who was asking na how to really become effective HTM. And I think this OPTA is a very, very instrumental in a way. And along the way, as I was mobilizing a lot of people, it is really very important to have ourselves equipped with this kind, not fully maybe, depending on our desire of our, the desire of our heart, but I think it is of great help po talaga. So, kahit hindi, kahit nag-ask ako kay Kuya Randy, I'm just inspired po na kayo po lahat na nandito ngayon are, to me, are the best people to first experience what I seem to be experiencing. Kaya lang, of course, the is challenging. Pero I always also know that sincerity moves heaven. So, nasa sa inyo na po yun. Pero I really would like to take this chance to kindly take a look and dalhin natin sarili natin doon and then discover what am I talking about. Kasi ang hirap mag-guarantee kasi iba-iba tayo na experience. However, I wish that you can also discover the beauty that I find in that particular undertaking.
Yun nga lang, Saturday, Sunday, Friday and Saturday and ang classes. And then there are already 3 batches. And then we are actually interactive. We are really meeting every week, twice a week. And it's so beautiful po talaga. And I look forward to see you all. Kuya, please invite them po.
Yeah, actually that's one initiative as well kasi nagsimula yon nung time na I was asked to do a series of seminar from different part of the Philippines. And if I will be the only one who will do that, I will die. Kaya we needed to raise a lot of lecturers and educators kasi ang community ngayon is nag-aantay ng mag-proclaim ng principle. And then people are really waiting for the proclamation of true parents ngayon. Yung mga religious leaders nga dito sa Mantigaw, sinasabi nila mismo na ang dami talaga natin gagawin pero kulang yung magagawa. And what we wanted to raise in UPTA, actually you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Universal Principle Training Academy. Yun po yung YouTube channel na and then you can browse yung mga lectures, 21 days lectures and even UPTA classes as well, yung mga discussion doon sa YouTube channel na yon. And then you can if you intended to raise up your or to to become part of the mouthpiece of God through UPTA, you can always contact si Herwin Kalinawan. Siya yung pinaka-main program. Nag-handle ng program na yon. Or you can also contact me or even Ate Sylvia for it. So, kasi we really feel that, yeah, there's so many things to do, but only few people are really have that kind of, although marami ring gumagawa, pero kumbaga yung intensity ng giving the divine principle as the main root of everything. Kasi, di ba, ang dami nating mga activities. Pero ano ba yung pinaka-basic foundation ng lahat? It is for them to understand the divine principle. Kaya nga, we are discussing with Ate Grace Mayo na itong Mantikaw, dito sa Mantikaw, we will be making it to become a BC for divine principle lectures and seminar. Para sa ganun, we can really create more honor of God's providence. It's not just a spectator, but really create more honors. Kasi kahit naman ilang beses natin silang pa-attendin ng blessing ng seminar, kung hindi natin ipapaintindi sa kanila, ipapa-embody sa kanila yung divine principle, still, we are just wasting, or hindi naman siguro wasting, but we are just extending yung time nila to really become honor of not only the providence, but most especially God's heart and God's will. Nung nandun nga kami sa sa Dapit Alim, talagang yung head ng yung iniwan na mag-take charge ng Dapit Alim, sabi niya, eto pala yung ginawa ni Father Moon. Bakit hindi ko man lang nabasa sa seminary nung nasa seminary ako? Tapos bakit ngayon ko lang nalaman? Diba? It's really a big challenge sa atin yun na Kaya nga, gusto niya magkaroon ng online series Divine Principle talaga na purely Divine Principle. And we are now arranging that for him para sa ganun. Yung buong community nila doon, we can make it as a heavenly community. And many other communities dito sa Mindanao. Kaya sabi ko ngayon, parang mas kailangan yata ako sa Mindanao. Ganun ba yan? Ganun ba yan? Ganun ba yan?
Talaga po. At saka ano po,
kaya na-appreciate ko po kasi ako, I'm very hungry. It's really good for you guys when you know how to give the lectures. But even if you know the lecture na, doon kasi mga naging kasama ko doon, mga lecturers naman eh. Pero na-encourage ako doon sa different way and the unique presentation of each, and then kasi we were asked to present the divine principle by section, and everyone doon makikita mo talaga kung gaano tayo ka-unique and how beautiful it is to learn from each other. And then ang maganda doon, even if we can watch each other in the YouTube, it's different to be mingling each other like this. Yung diretso tayo nagkukwentuhan, diretso tayo exchange of words and interact or exchange thoughts and ideas. It's really very nice. Amazing po talaga. And I'm very grateful to this virtual platform that we're having. Because even if we are very far from each other, we still have the opportunity to learn from each other. At the same time, also me, to myself, learning how to give lectures. But honestly, I'm yet in the process of learning pa rin talaga. I'm yet very far from the truth. ang example ko, yung gusto ko katulad ni Kuya Radin, it seems just very natural to give the lectures, no? And then, I know, especially Ma'am Tere, actually, I am so excited na, ito yung mga taong gato. Alam ko na, we would not just help, you would not just help us, but in our small scale, we can also help you in every, yun nga, kasi verse of people ang nandoon. Pero yung challenge natin is yung ating connectivity. But I think that can be addressed. God will work. God, bastos ako, ginawan ko pa ng work si God. But I always believe that He can find means and ways. So for those us here, sana mapagmuni-munihan natin yan. I love you all. So, wala na po ba, meron pa po bang mga reflections, additional reflections? Tayo, nag-alis na si Kuya, hindi, nag-off lang. Kuya Sam, mayroon po ba? Right? What happens because of okay, yeah. So maybe we can now, okay lang.
Sir, si Sir Elisar wala siya.
Yeah, si Sir Elisar.
Good morning again po. Thank you again. I'm very blessed for this wonderful convergence of some pen leaders with the presence of Kuya Randy and Ate Sylvia. Now I'm happy also of the plan to revive mga trainings sa Mantikao. Kay naapod may mga youth nga willing mo seminar mga 7 days diri sa among lugar dayon sa DepEd na may mga ma-inspire pod sa ato mga gidala nga principal kay I'm really blessed with the divine principle nga in my leadership sa eskwelahan sa district always the principle majud ang gina-follow. So the 4 elements of love, the 5 principles of peace. So leaders also, teachers, even mga students are inspired, and then they want to go more deeper. No, so my reflection also of the message ganiha ni Kuya Randy, really, no, it's not easy yun to be blessed families. I mean, going against the current because the normal of this world away from the Jun Ilgop, a very different Jud, no? Easy life lang, selfish life, dayon murag wala lay purpose, and then indemnity really, the blessing really is an indemnity of the past. No? Di jud dali mahimong blessed family to be a model to a community para ang atong ipahatag sa ilahang message dili lang maingon lang makita nila sa ato ang istorya kundi sa buhat. I know it really it's not easy sometimes. It's really true nga even Jesus before maingon siya nga kung if we want to follow him we will carry our cross. Really there are many cross, even our sometimes our pride, even family, immediate family members, or a community, even in the workplace. But having the understanding of the divine principle, it is part of the indemnity that we are paying. So I have a reflection in myself that really just really have to be courageous and follow the teaching of the true parents. I'm very thankful of the teaching of the true parents that I know the will of the heavenly parent for us, that to really he really wanted us to become a child, not just a servant who fear God. Because in the secular world, in the past old world, sabi lang nila, we must have to fear God. But as I have been taught by the divine principle, really, that we must not just be having a fear of God or be afraid of God, because that means we are just servant. So what we are going to do, as I've been educated, is that to really love God. By loving God, we cannot have to do against His will, but we have to return joy to God. So that is why, as also manifested in this kind of convergence, that our leaders, Kuya Randy, Ate Sylvia, are emotional and sacrificial in their time to really educate us, because in myself I can reflect I'm yet far from the even in the mission. Sometimes I a lot to learn, have a lot to learn pa siguro jud in Heavenly Tribal Messiah Mission, but in our place, by the collaboration of our regional leader, Ate Elsa, Ate Terry, and Kuya Sam, we have blessed here 160 couples pajod in Tianon, but still on the uh, minimal pa jud no ang education manggo lang. That is why I agree with Kuya Randy nga ang education, the education of the families, once they are blessed, they must be continually educated with the divine principle. So it's one way also, if there will be opportunity to send them like 7 days seminar in Mantikau, no, it's a different venue because sometimes in just in our place, parang may mga hindi naman parang may mga disturbance, yung gano'n. Parang siguro I need din, they need din siguro din ng mga time na para makapag-reflect din sila, truly maka-focus, hindi yung madidisturbo sila. Pero anyway, strategy man din 'yan. Pero sa akin parang honestly, mahirap talaga, especially na marami ding challenges before sa akin lang talaga maraming challenges. Pero sabi nga ni Kuya, hindi natin, Kuya Randy, sabi nga niya, hindi dapat tayo na magsasabi lang na dahil naghirap tayo, but it's now high time to return joy to God, to really fulfill our portion. That is our purpose, portions of responsibility, to give joy to God, to give joy to others, and by thereby giving joy also to nature, the very purpose of our life. So I feel the burden really, but I know that with through the Heavenly Parent, the two parents, nothing is impossible. It is happening in me. I can testify that it has brought so many changes in my lifestyle, my attitude as a family man, as as an individual person, as a leader, how I've been a considerate one. Um, it really opened my mind. I'm very happy of the divine principle because as a leader, in our in the DepEd, in our district, it really guides me to really lead a moral life into my constituents, the education constituents in our district, especially in our family also. And that importante talaga sa tao yung moral life, kasi kahit paano natin maili-lecture tapos sasabihin lang, dati the normal noon na sabi, follow what I say but do not follow what I do, is no longer effective, no, they will never believe that na. So as of this time, siguro update na lang din, kunting click na lang siguro, kasi binigyan man din tayo ng blessing ni Heavenly Parent. I know Heavenly Parent has given me this blessing to be a district supervisor, unimaginable, no? At sabi nila, youngest daw ako na supervisor sa Zamboanga del Norte. Totoo naman, sabi ko, without the guidance of the divine principle, I would not have done this far, because our superintendent before, even if I'm just a principal one before, sabi niya, nag-search sila ng tao na ipopromote daw. Nakita man ako ng supervisor namin dati, sabi, ito si Mr. Gapol daw, kasi a family-oriented man, kasi lahat nililecture ko noon ng central school namin. Sabi ko, yung 5 principles of peace, strong family ties, sabi ko, until I am your principal, I will never consider one family who will broke up, kasi may mga problema talaga yung mga other woman, yung ganyan. So during my time there, I intensified lecturing them the 5 principles of peace. So actually nakita ng supervisor namin, so in the end nire-recommend din niya ako nung may nagbakante na dalawang posisyon na pagiging supervisor. Kaya parang yung iba ayaw makapaniwala bakit daw ako na-promote agad. Sabi ko, God really has placed me in this place, but it is not easy really. Dumating man din ako sa pagiging supervisor, pero may mga challenges din. Minsan sabi ko, my prayer kasi, sabi ko, my prayer is, God, Heavenly Parent, use me for your glory. This glory is not mine. If I be wasting this glory that this blessing that you have given to me, then I'm not worthy person of this blessing. So sabi ko, use me for your glory with wherever place you will put me. So it happened that ano siguro if you allow siguro a small uh, uh, story history sa akong ginabuhi in my life that uh, one mayor in our province said, sir, if without you I would not have been a mayor. And people say, sir, if without you for 27 years we would have experienced still grabe na mga administration. Kaya nung nagde-decide kami election time as a municipal board of canvasser member kasi yung supervisor doon, we have decided a thing na it would really change a history, is particularly in a place in municipality of Sibuko. Kaya yung mayor doon, if we will tap them, madaling-madali na siya kasi na-transfer na din ako as a district supervisor ng Calawito District. Meron na tayong mga siguro magagamit na natin sila as yung John the Baptist natin doon kasi they believe in our sincerity in service. I've sacrificed almost maybe in my life even. That is why I've been given a security guard. I'm the only supervisor that has the security guard in our place. But may ano din, may challenges din minsan kasi yung security guard ko na involved din, may nag-indemnify din yung security guard ko. It turned out na siya din ay nagagamit din ni God para mabulgar din yung napakalaking anomalya din dito sa lugar na napuntahan niya. Just the story which is yung parang trial by publicity yung nangyari agad yung doon sa security guard ko nga kasi nag-indemnify din siya. So na-feel ko din na parang sabi ko, parang dahil sa yung security guard ko na sundalo, binigyan man ako ng sundalo ng security guard. Sabi ko, parang share din siya ng indemnity nag-indemnify din siya sa kasi alam natin yung sundalo, sa akin din, almost 2 years na yung sundalo na yon. Palagi siya makarinig sa mga lectures ko, 5 principles of peace, four realms of love. Sabi ko, husband and wife are for eternity, not just for this time. Sabi niya, sundalo yon. Tapos gagwapo, tapos sabi na alam na natin yung sundalo kahit saan merong mga pagsubok na yung labas talaga sa principle, the fall talaga. Kaya palagi niyang mapakinggan sa akin. Kaya ngayon nung nagka-problema siya, sabi niya, sir, nag-ano man siya sa akin, nag-message siya, sabi niya, sir, alam ko mayroon ako maraming i-change sa buhay ko. Sabi ko sa kanya, sir, iba't iba man yung klase ng pagbabago na mangyari sa atin, iba't iba yung paraan para tayo mabago, na ma-realize natin na yung importante talaga nitong buhay natin is yung relasyon natin ni God, especially yung sa pagiging mabait natin sa tao, tapos pagsunod ng what is moral. Tapos sabi niya, salamat sir kasi kahit ganito, sinuportahan mo ako. Tapos message from God talaga lahat na maririnig niya sa mga pagsubok niya. Sabi ko, be strong lang kasi nga indemnity. May nagsabi nga sa akin, sir, alam mo na medyo na-confused daw siya kasi sa aking pagsubok, dami daw ng pagsubok. At tapos pati daw yung security guard ko nakaranas din ng pagsubok. Walang ibang sundalo na nakaranas noon ng ganun na kakahiyan. Pero sabi ko, alam ko sa sarili ko na may indemnity din siya na pagdadaanan. Kasi nga si Jesus nga, ini-indemnify nga niya yung kasalanan ng iba, hindi niya kasalanan yon. So, pati nga si True Father 6 times in prison, grabe yung pag-indemnify niya na hindi din na kasalanan. At kahit kung selfishness lang talaga, no, pwede na, sabi na normal world before, sabi, what's in it for us? What's in it for me? Sabi niya. Pero kung we are living for the sake of others, even if it does not have nothing to do with us, because it has something to do with others, we will do. That is why I'm very happy I've been a member of this really I've seen the future ahead that even Christianity have flourished for 2,000 years, but I know only intellectuals can really understand really easily this principle because it is scientific, it is really religious and scientific combined together. And those average mga minds cannot just really comprehend easily. That is why sabi nila, if you will have if you can have to contain God's you will know God in your own mind, kasi sabi ng ibang mga scientists walang God kasi nakapag-invento sila. Sabi ni True Father, if you can have to encapsulate God in your mind, then that is not God, because God is so broad. But us, we are very special because we understand God at the viewpoint of True Father, the divine principle. We really understand God now. Though we are sabi ko nga, para bang nangilabot yung balahibo ko. Sabi ko, we are even greater than those bishops or pastors, priests who do not know True Father, because sabi nga ni Kuya Richel Halipa before siya, 5 minutes lang kapag makipagdebate ang mga pare na yan na nag-theology ng 8 years pa yun, or mga bishop na Doctor of Divinity pa. Pero we are not for debate, we are for sharing for each other. We're not for the pride. We must not have the pride in ourselves na kami yung magaling, kami lang yung ganito. Kaya sabi ko, grabe yung pressure na sometimes kung yung ibang tao na meron akong ganitong nalalaman, sabi grabe na ang pride na sino lang kayo diyan. Pero dito talaga sa divine principle, nung malaman natin to, the more we are knowledgeable, the more we are humble pa sana. But again, talaga, ganun talaga ang nangyari. But again, the challenges ahead is so great. That is why I'm very happy of the collaboration, especially the genuine concern of Ate Sylvia, Ate Akuya Randy, and also my thanks is limitless, no, because it saves me really, and I've seen the future ahead of my children through this not only a simple organization, but this is a Chunilgo. That is why I'm very happy every time I will hear this, and I will spare my time sometimes, even if we are so occupied with reports, very busy, but just to read the divine principle, the Hondo K by Bill Christian, and sometimes signal will no signal, no electricity, even if those hindrances will occur. Sometimes you'll just find time to really read and read and read, because education really, even if I've known part of the divine principle na sinustudy ko talaga parang 7 years na basa, pero every day as I listen Hondo K or mga morning sessions ganito, mayroon pa rin malalaman. Sabi ko nga, if I have been using my pride before, sabi ko, I've been studying for 4 years at lahat ng parang days or hours na mayroon akong spare, doon ako sa library, parang nabasa ko lahat ng libro. Pero nung malaman ko, mabasa ko ang divine principle, it really opened my mind that I'm really just parang very minor fraction pa lang, parang sa kalingkingan, kukulang yung nalalaman ko doon sa library kumpara dito sa divine principle. Kaya sabi, happy ako, pero sabi ko, it's not easy really. Sabi nga, indemnity, there is still really an indemnity. But I know why. I've known the purpose of God for me now. Why He placed me in this place in the department. Sabi ko nga sa mga kasama ko, nandito tayo sa Department of Education. Alam niyo bakit? Sabi ko, kasi pag naging mabait yung mga bata na tinuturuan natin, naging mabait yung mga teacher na tinuturuan natin, sino ba yung ating stakeholders? Lahat, nandiyan na lahat sa school. Anak ng mayor, anak ng barangay captain, anak ng teacher, anak ng fireman. Tapos lahat ng department lumilink dito sa DepEd. Parang kami nasa circle, lahat kakalink. Kaya sabi ko, pag maging mabait yung mga bata, eventually yung mga komunidad ay bumabait din yan. Kaya may plano din ako na yung project life ko, yung purpose of life, sabi ko nga, simple lang, the giving joy to God, giving joy to others, and giving joy to nature sa mga estudyante. Kaya bago man lang din ako na-transfer amidst those trials dito sa amin, nagsa-start din. I prayed, I know that the purpose of God for me, na hindi niya ako, meron nga time na na-disgrasya kami, we've almost died, but sabi ko, buhay pa rin ako, kasi nakita ni God, dyan ka sa Department of Education, kasi lahat ng field dapat nga sana meron din tayong politician na magsusupport man lang sa activities natin sa ating movement para ma-mobilize na heaven on earth na agad itong Philippines, but it's not easy. We really started from scratch from myself, really. So I've still to have to establish the really what yung sa atin dito, sa atin magsisimula pa talaga tayo. But I know it's not impossible, especially that people are very much concerned with us. Thank you talaga yan. Sabi ko, nandito si Kuya Randy, si Ate Selvia, nandito kayo, kaya everyday or nag-educate kayo, in-educate nyo kami, kaya napasalamat din ako dyan talaga. Kasi by your presence, it gives us more inspiration to strive more. It's not easy really, I said. So with that, no, thank you sa time. Parang tumaas yata yung reflection ko, pasensya. So thank you so much Ate Sylvia at Kuya Randy, Ate lahat, Ate Elsa, Kuya Sam.
Thank you din po sa sharing, sir.
Very fruitful day.
Yeah. Actually, I'm really challenged na inisip ko nga, how can I, kasi before, when we were working with Philippine Teachers Association for Research of Principles with Kuya Eric and all other, with Dr. Cachola, I've been giving lectures sa mga teachers, sa mga supervisors, and I miss those time. And when I saw Sir Gapol, sabi ko, parang this can be a comeback.
Yeah. No place. We will start it there.
Yeah. And halos lahat naman nandito is more on educators. So,
Kuya Randy, dito ka na lang sa Mindanao mag-base. Dito ka na lang sa Mantika mag-base ba?
Oo. Ayun.
Sige, pag magpaalam mo kay Ria. Ipaalam mo kay Ria, ate. Ate Tere.
Lahat sila buhatin mo, kuya. Lahat sila buhatin mo na sa Mantika.
Dito na lang, no? Para mas...
Oo, mas fresh pa.
Paano yan? Yung work na Ria.
Anyway, I'm really thinking of how can I... Kasi I've seen the potentiality of Mindanao, really. Meeting those, lalong-lalo na ngayong sa Dapit Alim na talagang sabi niya, ito pala yung need bakit hindi natin to propagate. And even karamihan sa mga young people na hawak niya doon is they're really coming from a broken family. And nung nag-ask siya na what we can do, even though we will counsel the children, if the parents will not be counseled, still nothing will happen. They will always go back to the basic where they are in the family. Kaya nagkaroon kami ng discussion na we should let them receive the blessing. Sabi niya, excited nga siya. And, so that's one community. And there's so many other communities that's waiting. And just like what Sir Gapol said, yeah. Education is really very important. That is even though sabi natin, makapagbigay tayo ng great lecture, if we cannot really educate them to transform, still not enough. Kaya yun nga po yung purpose ng UPTA na we wanted to train not only lecturers but really educators of heart na they can really feel na ito yung necessity, ito yung kinakailangan natin ngayon na if we really wanted to transform our community, we have to practice the principle. Make our life become a principle. We should become a walking divine principle as what True Father said. Na, di ba? Kung sino tayo before, at least we can make it better for the future and model to others. Kaya, I cannot promise to, sir, but if you will be inviting me to go there to assist you, to help you, anytime po, basta makapagpaalam ako sa office, I can always come. Sabi ko nga sa BFD is ano lang naman yung trabaho ko is a part-time. My full-time work is with God and True Parents.
Yes.
Kaya ever since that had been my commitment to God. Yeah. That had been my commitment to God, and I wanted to raise more people to be better than me para sa ganun. Magawa na talaga natin to kasi matagal na naghirap si True Parents.
Yes, no.
Pwedeng sabi naman natin, Father, pwede ka na mag-rest kasi nandito naman kami. Aju. Ano po?
Kuya,
so,
yun, konti lang po, kaya additional.
Sige po.
Kung ganun, mas maganda talaga yung plano mo, kuya, na sa amin kasi dito, yung under the district na hawak ko, may 145 teachers. Kung mapaplanuhan natin to, lahat ito teacher, malilikturan natin ng
Divine
parang blessing na
principle.
din, divine principle, tapos
Divine
blessing
principle
na
and
din
blessing,
pagkatapos.
yeah.
Oo, mas mapapadali kasi sa akin, kahit sa akin, core member na talaga ako sa movement, parang maging conflict of interest man na sabi nila, si sir, pinupush kami sa kanyang religion na yung ganito, ganyan. So kung may katulad sa iyo, kuya, kung ma-assist mo kami na parang kayo yung nag-organize, tapos ako lang yung John the Baptist, na sabi ko, during our meron man kaming family values month, yung ganun, ikaw yung i-invite ko, kuya, na magli-lecture sa kanila, parang October yan, October, so medyo malapit na. So para i-coordinate ko na rin sa division namin na yung activity namin sa district, sanction din sa division office, na para recognize din talaga, baka maging model district pa kami, na mag-start doon yung real education, values education sa mga teacher. Kasi ito talaga, kahit teachers na sa amin realidad, degrading yung pag-implement ng values, kasi sabi ng teacher, values lang yan, magwalis kayo. Pero sabi ko, yun ang pinaka-importante sana. So kung maintindihan to ng mga teacher, tapos kung mapakinggan nila yung lecture ng divine principle, lalo na yung 5 principles of peace, na sabi ko na yun ang minomodel ko sa kanila, the way I act, lead them morally, ma-inspire talaga sila, ito pala talaga ang totoo. Kasi sa atin din, welcome man sila lahat kahit ano-ano pang religion. So, may nakikita na ako ahead na ginawa nyo pala ito dati na nag-lecture sa DepEd. Ngayon, kuya, kung kasi John the Baptist nga ako nyo dito, pwede nyo akong gawin John the Baptist, ma-invite ko lahat yung mga teacher. Walang lulusot dyan. Sila lahat makikinig yan. Wala silang choice. Pero siguro, sa ito na sabi ko, God has been using us, has been using me, and I prayed to God na use me for, sabi ko kay God, use me for your glory, God. So ito siguro, kuya, kung makapag-set lang din tayo ng time mo, ng schedule namin dito, ipaplano na natin to ahead, na lahat ng mga teacher ko, ano kaya, kuya, isang araw lang or 2 or 3, yung ganun.
Actually, we can go as far as 3 days po.
Sige, gawin natin 3 days. Para inset
naman yun, sir. Maganda yung inset time.
In-service training. Sabi ko, in-service training natin to. Tapos, focus kami sa values. Values formation. Family values formation man ito. Sa moral recovery program din natin may tap na laws na i-back up natin sa ating ganito.
Ang maganda yan, sir, is yung team ninyo, you can send it to me para I can craft yung presentation na it will be aligned to your team. We can make use of the divine principle na hindi siya yung kumbaga hindi siya yung too dogmatic, but at least it can be a universal approach na in-align to your team na ano.
Yes.
Kasi ma-remember ko nung time na in-invite ako as a speaker for values, embodiment of core values ng university sa University of Eastern Philippines. Binigay lang sa akin yung team, tapos yung Vice President for Academic, ginawan ko siya ng presentation based on the divine principle na hindi divine principle yung i-share natin, but based on the team na alignment towards the theme of the activity na
tema na activity. Family Values Month celebration man 'yon.
Opo, tapos we will be para pagka-submit natin sa DepEd yung result mismo, yung activity mismo, we will craft it in accordance to the DepEd procedure of reporting na. Ganun yung ginagawa namin sa Cebu po noon with the different principals sa Cebu.
Wow.
Kaya kahit nga nung nasa Jensan ako, yung isang head ng isang district ng principal sa we organize yung friendly and meaningful encounter wherein it's really divine principle 1 to 16 nang ituturo sa mga from first year to fourth year high school. Kaya talagang in-enroll nila, and we always go to the school to give lecture on to the students and to the teachers. I know we can do that. At least meron tayong mga model na nagawang ganun. So ang gawin na lang natin is how we can localize it in your area. And total, andito si Ma'am Tere, andito si Sir Samson, and andito kami ni Ate Sylvia, si Ate Elsa, si Kuya Bong. So we can collaboratively work together so that the government will really not be being used by Satan, but it will be used by God.
Yes, Adjo.
Adjo po.
Kasi dito kaya may ginawa na din kami na yung PWPA nung pumunta si Archbishop Soria at si Kuya Venus with Ate Elsa, Ate Tere, Kuya Samson, full force kami, Kuya Hill, doon sa Gutalak. In-invite namin lahat ng principal teachers doon. Pero parang ang pag-follow up kasi hindi dati noon principal pa man ako noon ng Central sa Baligian at hindi in-invite lang talaga. Ngayon kung mangyari ito dito sa district na hawak ko, ma-follow up ko talaga sila, tapos nakita nila yung the way I model them the leadership, moral leadership through the divine principle. So siguro mas makahanap tayo na ngayon, nakita ko may strong leader tayo na makukuha dito nasa deep end pa. With a collaboration, with your collaboration ako, Kuya, with your presence niya, siguro na rin ni Ate Sylvia at sa amin dito kasi nagtutulungan man din kami, Ate Elsa, Ate Tere, Kuya Samson, wala din sila, wala man din ako. So pasalamat din ako sa niyan.
The only thing that I can say, sir, is we'll make your dream come true.
Wow, thank you, Adjo. Manse.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kuya. Thank you.
Yes. Oh my God.
Daming spirits. Ang daming mga spirits. Ang daming mga spirits.
Yung sinasabi mo na sana we can have politicians, we will create them.
Kasi we cannot let God wait eh. Yeah. Sabi nga ni Mother, 7 years is too long.
Yes.
So if we can make it shorter, why not? Diba?
Adjo.
Kung magawa natin dyan na imbitahin ng mga teachers, mga principals, si True Mother din sa Pilipinas, why not?
Oh my goodness.
Gusto nila sabihin na may imbitahin natin si Mother kasi ito yung ginawa nila for the whole world. As a model of peace.
Tumindig balahibo ko.
Actually, yun even yung collaboration namin with 2ID, 2 Infantry Division sa Infanta Quezon. Wow. Talagang yun yung nila, yun yung we did not start with just the orientation. We really started with the divine principle. Introduction of the divine principle in chapter 1 na talagang yun yung binigay namin sa mga families centering on yung CMO at saka yung civil support program nila. Wow. Kaya they wanted na yung sabi nga nung company commanding officer ng Charlie Company na siya in charge sa Infanta is this should be spread sa lahat ng mga municipalities na hawak ng Charlie Company para sa ganon we can really protect the community not only protecting the community but we can let them realize na meron pang mas magandang pwedeng gawin kaysa yung magmukmuk lang sa bahay, kaysa makisama sa kung ano ng organization, but to really become the catalyst of or to become the frontliner of God.
Wow.
So yun po. UPTA, and I will also, as Ate Dulce, I will be supporting still yung BFT education kasi that's part of my my vision din na help BFT. Pero pagka matrain na natin yung ibang lecturers kasi dumadami ng lecturers natin sa UPTA, so I can now do some other works na some of my load will be with them, so I can help more. Wow. And I can bring them as well so that they can see how important the work that we are doing for the establishment of God's plan and God's purpose.
Very excited.
Wow. I feel
pag nag-retire na si Doc mo?
Yeah. Oh my. And we have one medical doctor na talagang gusto niya pag mag-retire siya talagang maging full-fledged educator siya ng Divine Principle.
Wow.
And sa UPTA ngayon we are now developing yung yung objectives ng every chapter and every section ng Divine Principle para sa ganun maging outcome-based education na rin siya na pwede nating ibigay sa mga schools and universities.
Yeah.
And I know this community, you can help us in developing that. Para anyway,
Yes.
pagka matapos namin yun, we'll be presenting po sa inyo. And then you
Yes.
can also help us in how we can make it more presentable into the DepEd community.
We will welcome it.
Yeah. Kaya nga ang plano po namin sa UPTA is we will be moving forward to looking at it as a recognized as a training ground for educators. Kaya we will be pursuing for the recognition sa CHED. Saka sa malay natin later on we can also put it into the DepEd for further learning development through universal principles.
Wow.
So anyway, I cannot really ano yan, how much God happy because of this symbol. We might say that we are just small, but we are carrying the Holy Spirit world.
Yes.
We
Yes,
are
Adjo.
bringing the Spirit. Kaya nga, yung sinasabi ko, ma'am, na it's if we will do 1,000 of people joining like this, sometimes only if you are really focusing into that. So it's better for us to do some focus group so that we can expand deeper, or we can expand pwede nating sabihin na with the things that you have received right now, you can start with that na share to other blessed families. And naturally, they will be the one to say, parang sa sa 2ID nga, sabi niya, hindi na pwedeng i-postpone to. Sabi niya, pwede bang kung kinakailangan na magpadala kami ng letter sa lahat ng checkpoint, we will do it. And they really did it. Inescortan nga kami mula Manila hanggang Infanta.
Wow.
Tapos monitored pa yung namin. Nasaan na? Dumaan na ba yung UPF dyan sa inyo?
Wow, grabe, VIP.
Yun yung po, parang naano kami. Kasi talagang sila mismo yung nagsabi na please do it. Let's do it now. We cannot extend anymore. Kaya nung first na pandemic nung April, doon kasi yung yung dumami doon, in-stop. Tapos sabi nila, hindi na pwedeng i-postpone talaga to. Once is enough. Two is too much.
Wow.
Kaya ngayon, they really, last Friday and last Sunday nga, nagkaroon na sila ng schedule. And they are looking forward for another schedule this Sunday. They wanted na every week. Pero we are thinking na para medyo hindi naman masyadong maano sila, at least twice a month ang namin para sa ganun, alternate youth saka mga parents tapos mga ganun.
Saka para mabitin ko.
So, yeah, para magkaroon yung ma-miss naman nila.
Parang
So,
maging routinary na pagka
ayun po. So, yeah, October, I can July, August, September, October, November. Yeah, it's I can request for another 9 days leave.
Wow.
And if that would be the case, I will be spending kalahati daw dyan sa Zamboanga, tapos Zamboanga Peninsula, tapos kalahati din daw dito, sabi natin.
Definitely we'll be bringing them here. That's for sure. Kasi we're looking into opportunity na we will do something. Ayoko kung mag-promise, pero yeah, gagawin pa lang sama para makita niyo na lang siguro.
Kaya Kuya Bong, yung kay Sir, yung sa yung sa Counselors League, 'di ba July yung sinasabi niya?
Yes, sir. Sir Randy.
July.
Yeah. Well, Zamboanga City, hinintay ko ng mga VIP dito. We are,
July,
we want, July what? Next week, no? Mga second week ng July.
O nga daw po,
July.
kaya sabi niya, mag-file na naman ako ng leave para doon.
Tapos yung mga nag-blessing namin dito, ng mga VIP na iba, at saka yung mga biniblessing natin araw-araw. Ayan, mag-attend sila ng Sunday na.
Sige po. Let's total na actually inopen na ni God sa atin to, kaya tuloy-tuloy na natin.
Adyo.
Wow, adyo.
Amazing doon sa Infanta kasi ayaw kami doon sa Infanta. Ano rin, gusto na division na, di ba?
A little background pa siguro yan, no, mga kahit 2 minutes.
Sige po, sir.
Itong sa DepEd namin sa Zamboanga del Norte po, kuya, na hindi to bago na may magli-lecture na about family values kasi dati meron na kami yung program ng dating Assistant Regional Director namin ngayon si Sir Pete na ano din connected na din sa atin kasi natap din at Tere. Tapos yung Assistant Regional Director, yung gusto niya talaga yung values ng mga educators dito ma-renew. Kaya nag-hire siya ng pastor na nagli-lecture about values. Napa-attend man din kami mga yung work attitude and values education 2 beses pero ako parang tayo sa divine principle nakukulangan talaga tayo kasi yun lang mga normal na lecture pero ayaw ko man din na mag-agaw eksena baka sabihin nila ikaw na yung magli-lecture pero nakukulangan talaga ako kaya siguro dahil hindi to bago sa amin dito tumpak dito sa atin pero tulad nga sinabi mo kuya na more on holistic approach natin sa kanila na para hindi nila parang matik yung sabi na kina-convert kami nito ganyan so mas maganda pa rin yung mapagplanuhan tapos full force tayo malayo pa man din October so ipag-pray na din natin salamat kaya sa time
sige po. Anyway, I cannot extend how grateful I am for having this it's not only fruitful but it's really very very fruitful meeting and discussion that we have and I can see hope.
It's God's plan.
Hope that God really mapasaya na natin si God.
Yeah, adyo.
Sabi niyo, Tere, hindi mo daw kailangan mag-leave. Sabi din ni Sir Samson, mag-transfer ng bahay.
Yeah.
Salamat talaga.
Kasi yung isang anak ko nandito na rin lang sa Mindanao eh. So why not na nasa Davao? Yung in-offer namin.
Baka minsan ma-transfer na rin natin ang IPLC sa Mantikaw. Yeah. We pray na ang Mantikaw magiging IPLC ng Mindanao.
Yeah.
We have last verse.
And magsa-sub area na nga rin ng UPTE dito centering ng Ate Sylvia. Pag mag-start na siya ng 7 days dito, I will be bringing some of the staff ng UPTE to become part of continuously supporting education dito.
Wow.
Yeah. And then tomorrow we'll be attending the Sunday school sa Asia Pacific, I think. Under BFD pa yun.
Maming hapon yun.
Monday, maming hapon Iba pala. Yung meeting pala ang tomorrow pala yung meeting and then this afternoon together with Rosalie we'll be attending the Asia Pacific Sunday school. Yeah. So under yan ng BF.
Wala nga po akong kasama Hindi ko hindi kung paano.
Wow. We have really we have stirred a lot. We have talked a lot and then we have shared a lot.
Yeah.
And we have planned a lot for God and for parents.
Yeah.
This is God's plan. This is God's plan that you are only the 4-position foundation just to focus on this discussion. Thank you. Also for the inspiration of Ate Elsa. Na very hardworking. Kahit kagabi na ginising ko si Sir Sam kasi hindi siya nag-send sa aking gi-post kasi 3 o'clock pa ako nag-post sa final natin kasi it's only yesterday that was decided and then maybe hindi pwede siguro i-transfer natin sa Saturday morning kasi kapag Sunday nag-neglect natin yung Sunday yung message din ni NL. So yeah, fellowship. Anyway, may YouTube man yan siya and then our activity today is very very fruitful and very very fruitful nga sabi ni Kuya Randy. And
at least this is already a substantial ng Hondoken. Substantial Hondoken ito. How we can do it together. Adyo.
Thank you so much. Si Ate Elsa, baka meron siyang si Ate Elsa, Kuya? Ate Sylvia, baka si Ate Elsa, meron ding ish. And
Ate Els, baka may gusto po kayong sabihin. Sorry. Baka may gusto po kayong sabihin. Anything po. Any additional
So, this Sunday pala yung ano lang to, announcement. This Sunday kami po ang host ng Sunday service pa lang yun. So 8:30 mayroon po tayong rehearsal yung mga nakasay ko. And then thank you so much Sir Randy sa pag ano mo ng time mo sa amin. Kahit na very busy ka talaga. Sorry kung hindi ano na sa Zamboanga City. Kabilat kanan yung pan dito, may ano to, may pero we are very grateful kasi we are always protected kahit na once naglalabas-labas tayo, ganyan, because of our faith din kay God. Kaya kahit na kahit ganito pa rin ang nangyayari dito sa Zamboanga City, still hindi yan hadlang para hindi tayo ma-continue ang ating mission, lalo na yung ating ina-accomplish ngayon sa kasi yan talaga ang ating offering kay Heavenly Parents at saka through parents yung ma-fulfill talaga natin yung 430 couples. And then we're very grateful siguro yung mga ancestors natin, ancestors na mga blessed families dito sa Zamboanga Peninsula, nakikipag siguro sa amin kasi nag-blessing kami ngayon tapos sinabi na-receive sila ng blessing, ngayon nagpo 40 days preparation na sila. And then yung mga pinupuntahan namin, hindi basta-basta yun, yung tapos nag-attend sila ng morning devotion, may umaga, may gabi kay Kuya Jaime, pero yung mga VIP doon ko pinapa-attend kay Dr. Yong, yung mga VIP. And then yung morning devotion talaga nag-attend talaga sila sa NL. So we're very happy talaga sa aming mga pinupuntahan. And then sinishare namin yung about sa yung trade ceremony kasi yan talaga nila ma-fulfill talaga nila matatapos ang kanilang 40 days separation period. So babalikan namin sila uli doon. Talagang ngayon inano ko talaga na nag-work talaga yung mga spirit world, lalo na yung mga natin ancestors ganyan, yung mga nabe-blessing na sa seminar natin. Wala halos lahat ngayon mga positive na kaya tama talaga yan na if we could unite with our mother, a tremendous blessing, not only pati lahat na ba na ma-feel mo talaga na nandoon ang blessing ni Heavenly Parents sa atin parents. So talagang lang tayo at with unity, kahit konti lang talaga tayo, sabi nga nila kahit konti lang kayo, ilan lang kayo, pag unite together and work together, we will bring victory talaga. Hindi naman nakukuha sa paramihan ng mga members or tapos disunited naman, hindi nakakasundo. So mas maganda yung nagtulungan, nandyan yung pagkakaisa. Kaya lahat tulong-tulong lang po. So maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat kay Sir Randy, kay Sylvia, Sir Samson, at saka the rest ng wala dito sa So thank you Sir Randy.
Thank you po. Kamsahamnida.
Kamsahamnida po.
Parang ang hirap mag-end, no?
Oo. Kaya parang feeling ko hindi pa tayo tapos. Hindi pwedeng matapos.
So, at saka nakikooperate na ang internet.
Yeah, galing-galing.
Usually when we have meeting, mahirap kami mag-meet kasi hindi magkakatugmang internet namin. Pero this is no the moment. It's very spiritual. Di ba Sir Gapon? Very spiritual. Yeah. Very spiritual. For heaven's sake.
Talagang this is planned by God. Kaya sabi ni Satan, ready na lahat. Pinirmahan na ni Satan, kaya yung magawa na lang kay God ang Eh nandito na tayo, kaya wala nang magawa si Satan, wala nang magawa si God. Adyo. Ayan.
Picture ta sir? Picture tayo Ate Sylvia?
Yeah.
Kuya?
So, hindi tayo, bago tayo kasi Hindi tayo matatapos. Hindi, because we're just starting anyway, di ba? We're just starting talaga po. So for us to have our first commemorative photo, smile muna tayo, and I'll take our individual faces in our respective responsibilities. However, take all that smiles for our first picture. Smile. All right. And this heart,
Wala ko.
All right.
Tangayo.
Librado sinang.
Nawala si sir.
Kasi nawawala sa ikagagaling.
Na ano
Ano
yung
nangyari?
signal niya, signal.
Okay, Brady sinang. Yan. And Vision 2027.
Songni, songni. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this beautiful encounter and convergence. We cannot.
I will pray, ate.
Okay,
I will
so
pray.
yan magpe-pray. Let us join.
Okay, please join my prayer. Our most beloved Heavenly Parents, the true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, we cannot really express our gratitude for this moment that you have gathered us together as one family. And I pray, Father, that whatever things that we have discussed together and whatever things what we have planned for, I pray, Father, that we could really offer it unto you, and we could give joy and happiness unto you, and we could feel hope. And most especially our two parents, Father, could really feel how much we love them, and how much we really wanted them to really feel that they have really exerted their effort, and it's now time for us to really make ourselves become worthy to be called as their sons and daughters. I know, Father, that the only wish of our two parents is for them to feel that we become mature, and we will take one step ahead and fulfill our responsibility, because we cannot wait anymore that true mother will say again that she is already getting older, and just waiting for people who could really proclaim and expand the foundation that they have laid for the establishment of heavenly community. And with the things that we have discussed, Father, I know that this is a offering that we can offer, and not only our commitment but our jongsong to really let people proclaim to the people and proudly invite them to receive the blessing, and most especially practice the divine principles, so that we could be reconnected back to your bosom, and we could change the lineage and change the history, not multiplying Satan's history anymore, but multiplying your lineage and multiplying your joyful history, and the most awaited one, looking at your children, enjoying our life together. Thank you, Father. Having this moment together with these precious brothers and sisters in Zamboanga Peninsula, I know, Father, that this is not just a coincidence, or this is not just a simple gathering or simple meeting together, but with the inspiration that we have received from you, understanding the value of the blessing that we have received, and how much we can really expand it by becoming a model to our brothers and sisters. I pray, Father, that we'll not only plant the seed, but we'll make the seed grow to become a big tree that will really cover the whole mountain, the whole community, to protect brothers and sisters. Thank you, Father, for your unending love. Though we are so limited in our own individual ways, but still you are there giving us opportunity to take part and to become part of this endeavor, and still allowing us to be connected to our two parents, and to become part of the puzzle that will complete the whole thing. Thank you, Father. May you please accept all of these things as we offer and report this in our name, Randy and Ria, may bless and family. Aju. Aju.
Amazing. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Ate Elsa, Kuya Bo.
Thank you, Kuya.
For
Thank you very much po.
today, and Kuya Alan out there and family.
Sa bukid.
And Ate, of course, Kuya Elisar and Ate Marilu, salamat po.
Sa ulitin.
See you po. See you next time.
Yeah, next month.
Next month. Yeah, see you next month po.
Mga last Saturday of the month, like that. Mga last Saturday of
Sige po ate, weekend
Kasi Sunday is very busy. Thank you
Opo,
po.
sige po, bye-bye.
Thank
Ingat
you.
po. Stay safe po lagi.
See you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
I-close mo ate, kaya hindi kami alis talaga.
Sige po.
Hindi kami alis talaga. Okay.